Well, hey everybody, happy Saturday. How's everybody doing out there today? I thought we would do a little bit of mining streaming, and it's a beautiful Saturday, not a cloud in the sky, and an excellent day to do this. So I'm really excited. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about kind of a tale of two cities here, and I think it's one of the things that have been shared on my channel quite a bit over this week, and that is the difference between the scanning on Lyria and the scanning in the air and Halo. And so I hope to demonstrate both those things today. We're going to have to see how the stream goes, but mostly we're going to start with Lyria, and we're going to talk about the feast to begin with. So let's go ahead and get started without further ado. Good morning, Pyro. How are you, sir? Nice to see you. Welcome aboard. And I will kind of do a pre-flight here on the Prospector. And I think it's the Prospector 2 here that has the rush drive on it. And I'm going to double check to make sure that I have Brant FLTRXL. That's my meta. That's what I like to use. Not everybody. A lot of people like the Surge and the Stampede, and it's a great argument to be made for why those would be good choices. But this is the meta that I enjoy. I think it's the most consistent for me when I Quantanium mine. So we'll go ahead and pull Prospector 2, and we'll get started this morning. Pyro, I hope you're doing well, sir. Hope everybody else is hanging in there. Yeah, it's an absolutely lovely Saturday. Oh, my stars, as I look out the window here. Not a cloud in the sky, probably around 65 degrees. Pad 2. And we will go ahead and get this thing kicked off. And so this week, I've had a lot of people talking about scanning. And the differences, obviously, we're really happy that Scanning Jet put out that video, as we all kind of looked at together, a lot of us anyways, where he kind of pointed out the new meta for scanning and how that's a really good scanning mechanic. It's a really good scanning mechanic specifically for Lyria, and that's because Lyria has where the double, anything more than one rock is Quantanium. Really outside of Lyria, it just means that those where the rocks are located, so you're still going to kind of do a lot of zigzagging. But the one thing that we're also going to speak to is that it really doesn't work in the air and Halo very well. And we're going to try and demonstrate some of that today as well. So Pyro says, I'm not too bad, just doing some Destiny stuff and things while chilling. Yeah, chilling's the name of the game today, that's for sure. So I will make sure that we do have some things on board here in this vehicle, and I don't, so I'm glad that I took a look. So let's go ahead and let me just make sure down in here that I do have an attachment, and it's a tractor beam. I do have that. That's great. I always like to have at least an extra, a couple of things on board here, utility-wise. And one of the things is we'll definitely grab a Sabir. We won't need a bunch of those. We'll have a couple of Optimax. I'd like to make sure that we have the things that we need. We're going to want to bring a couple of Bormax as well. And then there's also the a Sabir, Optimax, Bormax, and then there's the Wave Shift. I should have a couple Wave Shift around here as well. And maybe I don't. Maybe I'm fresh out of Wave Shifts. Let's go ahead and look. Oh, Sabir. I don't see any more of the Wave Shifts. So I'll have to pick some of those up at some point. No big deal. Ideally, I'd have a couple Wave Shift as well. But I don't, and that's just fine. Other than that, let's go ahead and just bounce through here one time and make sure. Now, I'm not bringing any sustenance items. Hopefully, I guess I will bring at least an energy bar. Never a bad idea anymore in today's meta that we bring a couple of things along with us while we go. So, well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started here. All right, so yeah, I mean, there's been a fairly good breakthrough for scanning mechanics, at least when it comes to Lyria, and it's something I'm going to demonstrate. It's become more of an active scanning instead of passive scanning. Now, there is maybe a medium breaking point on the passive scanning as well, the way that you angle your scanners, and we will try and adjust for that a little bit and do a little bit of that as well. So up we go. Gear is up. We are going to spool up the quantum drive as we kind of leave the pad. You can tell we're leaving the pad there. There it is in our background, and and we're just going to go ahead and punch it and get underway here. So absolutely wonderful day to go mining in Star Citizen. I'm super happy that that we have this opportunity. I'm going to sip a little coffee here. That's good. And I have, you know, I'm sipping it out of my Spectre Fleet Quantanium and coffee mug, which I just adore. I love this mug. It's an exclusive item just for me, and I really do like it. So we are going to begin on Lyria today, and we are going to just kind of follow the new meta as best we can. I'm still kind of myself just a touch clunky with the mechanics. You know, we have a long way to go, you know, as far as being kind of real efficient with them. But that being said, I'm definitely in a position where I can demonstrate those things, and I do think that it will go a long ways towards at least the Lyria mining meta, and then we'll discuss how it is kind of a feast or famine or a tale of two cities, right? Where as good as the scanning mechanics have become on Lyria, you know, for any other moon, they're not necessarily going to be as good because it doesn't really do the any 2+ as Quantanium thing. But also in the air and Halo, you know, it's not to say you can't find rocks, but that you certainly can. But it has become a little more visuals and kind of relying on the mining laser out and proximity. You've got to be very close in order to kind of, you know, understand, you know, kind of what it is you're going after there. And so, you know, you'll see a big difference here between the scanning mechanics for sure. So we're punching it over to Lyria, and here we go. And we'll just find some place in the some people like to mine on the dark side of the planet, and some people like the light side of the planet. I myself like the light side of the planet. I think that you know, that's my preference. People can't see you from as far a distance away. That has some parts of it to do. Also, I just think it streams better for you guys, you know, and that type of thing. So we're just going to look for a place that's kind of not too far here. You know, and so what do we have here? There's Orphanage at 321. Orphanage will work for us here. The Orphanage is never a bad option. Sandy Claus, how are you, Sandy? Nice to see you. Sandy Claus says, yo. Nice to see you Saturday. Sandy Claus is definitely a dark side miner, nice, I think, and I'm definitely a light side miner. It's so funny how we all have our own little preferences. I think that's great. It would definitely be not nearly as infinitely fun or complex if all of us did the exact same thing. You know, put the same consumables on. I mean, obviously in Quantanium mining, you're hard pressed not to go with the Lancet. Not everybody even follows that though. So there are some especially with the releasing of the mining gadgets. There's definitely some Helix folks, that type of thing. So here's how things change, right? Normally, what I would have done before is I would have, you know, never turned on VScan first of all. I would have just kind of passively began looking, just flying, and having my passive scanning from one wingtip 5,000 out one side to one wingtip 5,000 out the other side. Really a 10,000 foot swath as I would fly forward. There would be proximities available, and so you could kind of cut a path, and it's just changed tremendously. So I'm going to go ahead and send out a ping, a 360 ping here. And I just did it, and you can see there's lots of opportunity markers here, right? So now I'm going to actually focus in on these particular things, and we're going to just individually scan them, and not every one of them is going to necessarily produce a marker, but a lot of them are, you know, and sometimes you have to kind of come down here and do a couple of rounds of this before it actually starts working the way that it should. But this will work, you know, so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of hyper-focusing on these particular opportunity markers. And then, you know, I didn't get any hits yet, so we're just going to back out. We're not going to panic. We're just going to go ahead and make sure that our, you know, our scanning angle is back out. We're going to redo it. We're just going to kind of keep looking here. We're going to focus in, and we're going to re-ping. And at some point, this will start drawing opportunity markers. Or it will start drawing kind of diamond icons. There's one out there. So we're starting to kind of get the diamond ping. When you first come to the planet, it takes a moment before this kind of thing starts kicking in. And so it's not uncommon. And so you just kind of just be patient. That's 12.5. That's a little too far out. So Sandy Claus is saying, changed up my center turret on the mole, running 2 VA UXC3s and now an optimum instead of a third VA UXC3. That optimum does, having more optimal charge window is a really good idea, or certainly going faster in that one as well. So Sandy Claus says, yeah, I have to zoom into 2 degrees and then stand to get the markers up to 12.2. Yes, if you're inside 12 kilometers, they will work. So once again, we're going to roll back to 360. We're going to just do a ping. We're going to have an opportunity marker. We're going to hyper focus down. We're going to re-ping. And you can see 10.2 out. That's a single. And right there is a single. And down here at 3,000, we're just kind of rolling back around. This one here, sometimes when they won't ping out, that means it's gems. We'll check that out just to follow the meta a little bit. And we're not getting as many hits over here, so this is interesting to me, but it's no big deal. We can check these out, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not opportunities. We'll go ahead and re-ping. We will kind of fly in. So let's just start with this one that's 3,200 away. Now, when you do proximity stuff here, you do have to fly in kind of close before you'll actually get a ping marker. And it looked like it was almost right underneath me. I am going to just kind of keep getting in here. It's a curiosity of mine what's going on here. And it was a set of doublers. So it may have just been there was just so much noise. You know what I mean? It's interesting that it was a set of doublers that close and it wouldn't draw. But I thought I would at least come in here. So we've got a 3128, and this is not going to be at a high percentage. And let's see here. This is going to be, we'll get in here. This is a 5152 mass, and this is not going to be at a high percentage. And you can tell because it's a kind of a big green wedge there. Now, I haven't got the actual percentages. If I hit them with the laser, it will definitely draw them out. See, that's a 3.91, and you can see this isn't going to be great either. This is probably going to be a 2%, a 4.35, so yeah, in that neighborhood. So we definitely haven't seen what we're looking for. We're going to move on a little bit. And while we're moving on, we are going to ping, okay? And we are going to do things like we're going to change the angle, right? We're going to change the angle down. We're going to V-scan. We're going to change the angle down to 45. We're going to come out of V-scan. I will kind of circle back, like roll back out. You definitely don't want to fly like that close to the UI. But if you notice, I've kind of angled as we are moving to our next spot where we're going to do the other 360 ping scan. We have angled our scanner to 45, and this is going to offer a little bit better, passive scanning as well. So, not doing myself a favor though by not going that fast. So let's go a little bit faster. I'll come back into this, and yeah, as you can tell, there's a lot more to manage. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Now that's certainly not going to be what we're looking for. We will send out another ping. And we will kind of hit this guy. Now we are going to fly, probably in the neighborhood of another, 4,000 or 5,000 past this rock here. There's a single there. Not a bad idea when you're passing over these sometimes either, to just kind of. There's diamond icons. So you can see that there's just a meta change, right? I mean so we're gonna start getting some altitude again. We're gonna get up off the planet surface here. Our our altimeter's not working. 3.17 is not doing great. Sandy Claus says, yeah, you don't always have to get the diamond marker. Not sure if it's gems or not. Just load it in. I've noticed a lot more gem nodes on Lyria. I think we're all noticing more gem nodes just because we're picking them up on the ping scans for sure. We'll go ahead and set this guy back. Here we go again, right? We're going to do this right here. It's a 360 scan. I'm focusing. And we are going to start looking at the markers that we have. And when they're in real close, sometimes they won't give you a ping. You can see that one, didn't give me a ping at 7,000. That's a single there. I don't, sometimes it gives it to you inside this distance and sometimes it won't. No big deal there. We'll kind of roll back out again. Ping scan. Take a look at our opportunities over this way. Focus down and then just kind of hit these again. 10.6 away, a single. 9.7 away, not getting a hit there. Here we are at 4 away. And we're going to continue on. So we're not getting great results today. And results may vary. I will tell you, some servers do serve it up a little bit better. But that being said, so now that I'm moving along, right, I'm going to kind of turn these these angles back down. So one thing I will say is we do want to be at about a 45 when we're oops, wrong key there. When we're moving forward, we want to try and be around a 45. That can actually help your scan angles a little bit as you're doing passive scanning moving forward. Oh, and Young Smooth is asking an excellent question. Hey, Space, how do you set the angle? Well, the default keys are comma and period or greater than and less than down at your keyboard. I think it's a good idea to map them to, say, left alt, and if you map it to left alt and then your mouse wheel forward and back, I think that's the right way to do it. So here you could go, I can set out a 3, I can pull back here. I'm holding down alt, I pull my mouse wheel back. Then I'm able to send out a ping, and then if I just kind of close, like holding left alt down, it actually closes my scanner, and it actually changes the angle for me. Soren, how you doing, Soren? Nice to see you. 11.5 out, you guys. Look, let's see. We got a single, so we know that's there's a single there. And so yeah, you could tell good load-ins there. There's some doublers right there, you guys. So this is some of the power of this particular scanning method, right? It's a little different. It's not that big passive fast flight. It's a little bit more. It's a different scanning meta for sure. But as you can see, we could see doublers there at about at a distance, and at a distance we already would have seen them passively before. We'll state for the record, but that being said, now that's interesting. There were doublers down here somewhere. Maybe I 30K'd, you guys. I will say there's a potential that I 30K'd here because I am, maybe not. Maybe I'm okay. So that is weird that we lost those doublers. They were just right there. So the server's, not doing great. We'll just kind of keep moving forward this way. I wasn't exactly sure where they were. Soren says, gonna grab an energy drink for the show. Awesome, Soren. That's fantastic. We're just getting started here, you guys. And obviously, nothing's perfect with these scanning mechanics, but they are different. And we want to make sure that people understand that. Now, maybe the doublers were right over this way. It'll be interesting. I knew that there were doublers over here. Oh, and maybe they weren't doublers, you guys. Maybe that was just that there were 2 rocks in that. That's what it was. That's interesting, and that's why these weren't actually doublers. They were lined up. That's very cool that it did that. I understand that better now. Young Smooth says, thanks, great for the info as always. Thank you, Young. I appreciate that. Sandy Claus says, I remap my ping button from tab to mouse key 4. I'm also pinging off my mouse as well. So everything is really controlled, you guys. Like, I mouse and keyboard mine. Like, I use HOSA sticks when I fly, but I'm mouse and keyboard mining. I'm hitting my side mouse button right now, like when I want to ping. So if I send out a ping, it's my side mouse button. And then all I need to do is just hold down left alt, move forward, and then just re-ping again. And you can see there's a single. Those weren't actually doublers back there. It was just they were just lined up perfectly. That's so cool. So we'll go ahead and kind of see if we can't get some pings out this way. There's some gems that just formed behind us. These are a little too far out. There's a 12.2. Interesting distance. 12.1. We're gonna stay focused in this area and see if we can't get that guy. Sometimes you can actually get them without even re-scanning at the 360 scan. So that's what we're doing now. We got a 360 scan going again. It's definitely within range. And it looks like it's just not going to give up the diamond icon if there's one over there. That's a single there, and I think this was a single here. So we're going to keep moving. All right. Now those aren't doublers. They were both kind of in the scan circle, the Titan scan circle, the concentrated scan circle, and we're going to keep on moving. Sandy says, I zoom my scale angle all the way down to 2 degrees for 12 km. out one's out one, so mapping angle the mouse wheel is super helpful, changing the angle of your scanner. I couldn't agree more, Sandy. And Soren says rock mining is also back. I really like it. I love the fact that rock mining's back. I love that. It makes me really happy that rock mining's back. And so, yep, we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing here. So that looks like it's, make sure that I'm tightened right down. There's a single there, and over here, we're going to kind of take a look at this guy. And lots of times, if you're not going to get a rock icon on a ping, it's going to be, if you're not going to get a diamond icon, it's going to be gems. I mean, that's just the way that it works now. That's the new scanning meta. So, once again, back out, we'll roll, and we'll just keep moving along here. Looking for stuff out in front of us, hyper-focusing down. There's a single there. Now, you can see we are moving along, and eventually at some point, like, I would imagine every 15,000 or so, it's not a bad idea to just kind of get some altitude and do a scan. Now, I've been traveling a bit here. There are a couple of opportunities here, and we'll take a look. There's a single there. There's a single there. And I didn't leave the laser in there for the ping, or the scanner in there for the ping, so I might have kind of gotten over my skis a little bit on that one. There's a single there. And there's a single there. So I've been moving along a little bit, guys. Now I'm going to grab some altitude now. I'm going to answer some chats, and then we're going to kind of go do, kind of like a 360 now. Just to make sure that we have hit all of our opportunities. Look, we've gotten up in the air a bit. I've rolled back. Harry Talk, welcome to the channel, Harry. Harry says, hello, how many mining gadgets can you attach to the spacesuit? Harry, you could put one on the spacesuit, but then you can have a big backpack and stick a couple more in there. I'm told. I haven't actually grabbed the backpack and put it in there. Solo says, you talk too much. You can just chill a little and talk less. Solo, I appreciate the, that feedback. I definitely do talk a lot. And lots of times I have guests on the channel, and I think it's a little easier for me. I do, I definitely could chill a little more, and I really appreciate where you're coming from with that feedback. I'll try and do better. I can't promise you that I will. So now we're just going to kind of 360 scan here one time. We know the sun is our 12 o'clock, right? So we're going to go through all of our opportunities now that we're just kind of... Now, some of these we've already checked, right? And that's okay. Some of them wouldn't necessarily give us scans as we were passively going through here. This 11.2 here, that's a single. But sometimes you get some altitude and you just get some different pings. That's a 13.5. We're not going to get that guy. We roll back out to it, we're going to focus down again. Blue Outrider, welcome to the channel, Blue. Blue says, I think I have used a medium backpack and gotten 3 gadgets. No, thank you for that information, Blue. I think that's very helpful. I should have stuck some in my backpack and tried. So, yep. So I think that's all of our opportunities here. We're definitely going to fly about, we're going to pass this 1 by 6,000 and fly an equal distance. So, Young Smooth says, keep talking space. Don't listen to that person. Oh, heavens, you guys. It's okay. One thing I will say is different people are going to have different preferences. It's a lot like barbecue sauces. I love the barbecue, but some people like a barbecue sauce that's got vinegar in it. Some people like a barbecue sauce that's got brown sugar in it. Some people like a barbecue sauce that's more ketchup-y. Some people just like in Texas, they just like a salt and pepper rub. Everybody has their own preferences, and that's okay. I really want everybody to know. If someone comes in and says, "Hey, Space, stop talking so much," that's okay. I don't take it as I don't worry about it, because I just got my style, and we're gonna do everything that we can. So, all right. So here we go. Once again, it's so funny. You get like an active ping there, nothing going on there, on a concentrated scan. Let's just make sure we're nice and focused here. And there's a 6.7, and there's some opportunity markers that are up in front of us as well. So we're going to keep on moving to those. We have these 3 in front of us. Macedon, welcome to the channel, Mass. How you doing today, sir? Good to see you. So yeah, these guys are being kind of funny. Like at distances. Sandy Claus says, catch you later. Off for a run, then got to work on some lore videos. Good hunting. That's awesome, Sandy. And, yep, you know, Sandy does have, guys, if Sandy Claus has some content, I think that, you know, I would recommend you check it out. Sandy, you know, don't be afraid to post a link to where some of your content is, for sure. So, yeah, we're just kind of flying up this way. There's a 10.5. Didn't get an activity ping there. And so we're just kind of closing here. We're gonna go ahead and open back up again. We'll do an active ping. Murlor, good to see you, Murlor. Look at all these opportunity markers, you guys. So we're gonna, once again, we're focusing in here. Let's see if we can get something to ping. Sometimes when you move into an area, it takes a moment for these things to register. Sometimes it's a little bit has to do with just kind of the geography a little bit. So we're gonna get a little more altitude. And we finally did get a single there, right? So that's going to kind of tell me that we're starting to get the server's starting to kind of recognize those things. And we're just going to keep on moving forward here. We're in some hills, and that's one of the reasons why it's probably not working quite as good as it normally does, but that's okay. So, you know, full ping out. Let's go ahead and start trying to single ping these out a little bit. There's a single rock down below us. These hills, I think, are really kind of maybe focusing into some of this. We'll have to see as we get up here and take a look. Make sure our angle's nice and tight. Mass says, doing good. Just did some Mother's Day shopping. It's, you know what, it is Mother's Day weekend, you guys, and I took my mom flowers last weekend. You know, obviously on the old mining channel on, you know, on Star Citizen. You know, you need no reminder. Your mom's important. Give her some love. You know, it's so fascinating. I mean, none of us would be here today without mom, at least in some capacity or another. Some of us are, some of us are, blessed to have real good mothers, and it's that weekend, and make it a thing, you guys. Make it a priority. I agree with that 100%. Awesome. We're going to keep moving forward. And we're just trying to use the new scanning mechanics as best we can. Yeah, we're having, sometimes it really does depend on the server. I mean, sometimes the servers are just bang. Every time you ping, they're on it. This one here seems to be a touch laggier, which is no big deal. We're just, we're heading in those, in the directions where there's the most opportunities. There's a single there. And we'll keep on moving. Jazzy Cat, good morning, Jazzy. How are you this morning? Nice to see you. JM Hecklin, not a name I normally recognize. JM says, I have the Titan, Cuddy, and Prospector. Could use a better hauler, but not really sure to get. Any tips? The Titan, the Cuddy, you know what? Sure, I have some tips. First of all, the Freelancer Max would be one option, right? But my recommendation, really, and my favorite kind of ship to haul with right now is the Constellation Taurus. I love hauling with that hauler. I think it's a really good amount of Quantanium that it can carry as you're hauling it into the refinery. But if it's not like one of those mega amounts like 400 or 500, where if you lose it all in one go, you're like, oh no, I just want to just go fetal. So I would recommend that. I used the Freelancer Max for months and loved it. We're gonna fly over here and check these guys out and figure out why we're, why we're. Yeah, just kind of get over them. I bet it probably has a lot to do with the hills here, but maybe not. So there's a single rock. We're just kind of flying over this way and seeing, because there were some opportunity markers over here. Oh, there's some gem icons. There's another reason why they weren't necessarily given some good results, which is no big deal. Out we go. I got some other opportunities to scan here. Paul Ferguson says, Spacesuit University resident professor lecture. Keep up the great work. Your lectures are teaching everybody how to do things. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. So, you know, I will tell you all, I'm still not myself 100% used to all the different ways we can kind of use this thing, and you know, and I'm just getting comfortable with it myself. But it is a great way to I really do like this game. I mean, I think this is engaging. You know, I do think it's engaging. I don't think now, you know, I will tell you that my results in this particular stream aren't as good as I normally get as far as it give me, you know, as far as it returning the kind of the icon results. But it's fine. You know, like it's just how it's acting right now. I can see that rock right there. Blue Outrider says, I really like the Connie Taurus. It also doubles as a really strong ERT soloer. Yeah, that's the reason. Returning to your question, JM, that's the reason. One of the reasons the Constellation Taurus can also flex into some bounty hunting. It's not a pushover ship. It's got a nice complement of missiles. It's a little more of a gunship. You know, as a pirate, you're gonna approach a Freelancer Max a little different than a Constellation Taurus. They're not the same ship. And so it's a bit of a gunship and a hauler at the same time. Right now, my favorite ship is the Tourist. You know, now obviously I love the Raft. There's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, a little more of a target type ship, as you can imagine. The Taurus is a little more of a gunship. Face the Fire 5. Welcome to the channel. Is this possible to do with a rented prospector? Face the Fire, if you're talking about the scanning mechanics, absolutely. Now, Quantanium mining, I wouldn't do as much with a rented prospector. You would take a rented prospector over to Aberdeen and go for Bexelite, Laranite, and Terranite. Now, you can probably, with a little bit of practice, that first day, I don't know as much, but with a little bit of practice, you'll find Laranite, Terranite, and Bexelite in good. You're going to do a little more passive scanning, but you're going to find those in good quantities, and you're going to want to take those to the refinery. Those are easier to do. Plus, with mining gadgets, much easier to do. So it's one of those things where that's how I would go about using the rented prospector myself. So not a lot of stuff out in front of us here. We're going to keep moving forward. JM says, I had been thinking of the Raft, the Max of the Taurus, 2.3 mil ATM in the bank. Lots sort of fine going on. Taurus isn't far. Taurus would be a great ship. Murloc says, oh, definitely go for the Taurus if you're on 2.31. 1 mil for the Prospe is nothing. Yep. And Angel of Death, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize, Angel. Hi. Is it a must-have for a joystick for Star Citizen? Angel, I fly right now. I have sticks when I'm flying around, but when I'm doing this mining here, everything that you're seeing I'm doing with mouse and keyboard. You do not. I played Star Citizen 6 months before I invested in sticks. So you absolutely can play Star Citizen mouse and keyboard, and it's just fine to play it that way. Now, ultimately do sticks enhance the experience? I would say yes. But you don't have to invest in those to begin with at all. And I hope that answers your question, Angel, for sure, because you just don't need sticks. I mean, it's just not, they help and they're funner. Doe says, I like the MSR for its speed and handling. An excellent choice as well. The MSR is a great ship. Now it's a little more costly. There's some doublers right there, you guys. That's definitely doublers up there. So we'll go check these doublers out. Murlor says, nope, I play with the mouse and keyboard as well. So, well, I don't know. Maybe these aren't doublers. We'll have to see as we get closer. It could just be two lined up rocks at a distance, too. And I think it is. It's so funny how that's working today, you guys. And it is an example of how it does work. That's just a single rock, and this is an obsidian deposit. It just so happened that the other one is right here. So they weren't doublers. They were not doublers. They were just lined up on a tight 2 degree angle on the scan, which, once again, another obsidian deposit. So that's funny. All right, up we go. We're going to go ahead and back this out, do another ping scan out here. Oh, they got a lot of opportunities. There's one at 11. Oops. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're in scanning mode when we do that. That's a single rock. That's a single rock. There's some doublers for sure, and we're going to move forward on those. Now what's going on here? Well, that's interesting. I'm not moving any forward or left or right. I don't know what's happening. I've lost a little bit of I've lost some functionality. Here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get out of this thing and do the hokey pokey here. This is one thing that can happen sometimes. I haven't had it happen in a while, and you can hear my dog in the background there. I do apologize for that. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of, yeah, I'm not flying forward at all. I will tell you, that's interesting. Then the sticks aren't working either. I'm going to toggle out of the game, back in. Yeah, you can see I'm actually going forward. I do wonder if there's been some kind of a 30K now. The server has been acting a little... B-Win is still there. I definitely don't have any... You know, frames are not terrible. B-Win's fairly low. But I can't move forward at all. You can see the sticks are moving around. I got left and right. I've got, you know, even boost isn't necessarily going, you guys. Like, it's going down, I think. No, it's not. So I do have, did I knock the handbrake on? Right shift. Interesting. I may have done I've never done that before. People are saying right shift. Is there an alt shift type thing? It's not VTOL, you guys. I can VTOL, but I'm like stuck. I won't move. Like you can see, I'm clearly. So right shift. Is there an alt shift? Is there some kind of a hit F4 and then F4 again? Says Brian Klein. Done that. Your SCM. Oh, my SCM's at the lowest setting. There we go, you guys. I'm so over my skis with the scanning mechanics. That's what it is. If you look here, that's what it is, right? It's totally on me. I had my SCM set down to the lowest setting. First of all, Sharp, thank you for that. Did I have Toe Cutter? Thank you for that. Redemption, thank you for that. Brian Klein, thank you for that. Thanks, you guys. That was really dumb. So it happens. You know, there's a lot going on with the scanning mechanics, and I just kind of, you know, in all the mouse wheeling, I just mouse wheeled back, and we're good. So it does happen, you guys. I mean, it happens to all of us. So I was just like, what the heck? I've never had that happen before. So yeah, no problem. All right, so we'll kind of, once again, and here's one of the things you'll notice. When you guys don't have V-Scan on and you mouse wheel forward and back, you'll know right away because this happens. You kind of focus in and focus out. So having the V-Scan on is an important part of this, you know, kind of, you know, meta as well. So, yep, and there's a single. There was some doublers, though. I know I've seen some doublers over this way. It's just kind of... I thought I seen some doublers right before they were over this way. We'll go ahead and see if we... Yes, it's exactly right. That is the downside of having my scan on the wheel. Murloc says, that never happens to me. Yeah, it's definitely happening. It definitely happened to me. I was like, what the heck? I can't go forward. This is weird. But you're not going to go forward if you have your SCM marker turned all the way down. So I thought I'd seen some doublers over this way, but I got a little over... I got so excited I kind of messed it up. So we'll just kind of keep scanning here and keep moving. Lots of opportunity markers over this way. Tighten it back down as we go. Single there. And you can see I'm moving while I'm doing this. It's not, you know, not all the time, but I am for the most part moving as we go along. You know, opening it back up, getting some altitude. I had one scan here that was kind of being, you know, that was just a single. Okay, no problem. Focus back. We'll ping again. And, you know, there's lots of opportunity markers. So, you know, we'll kind of keep our foot on the gas here at these distance ones, because chances are they're the ones that I haven't already looked at. There's a single. Single rock underneath us just popped. There's a single there. So we're going to keep moving. Yeah, you guys. Toe Cutter says, my right flight stick just broke, so I'm back to keyboard and mouse. Oh, no. Sorry, Toe. That's yucky. Brian Klein says, LOL, my prospector will lose the ability to respond to my throttle control, so F4 and hitting F4 again, and F4 works for me. Yeah, and Brian, I do a similar thing where I get out of the seat and kind of get back in the seat. you know, I have lost where, you know, like I come out of quantum and I no longer kind of have control where, you know, now, and the other thing is, you know, of course you can turn off the power, but you don't do that in Atmo. That's not a great idea in Atmo. That looks like we just had a pretty good hit over there. I don't know if you guys seen the double flash there. This looked like a good hit over this way. Let's go ahead and take a look. Looked like there was kind of a double flash. Now that could certainly be gems, but we'll go over here and see what we have. I noticed a double flash this way when we kind of pinged, and let's see what we have. So we're, you know, we'll kind of back out of here and turn off the V-scan, get out the mining laser, and it's a set of doublers. So I did notice kind of that little bit difference in the flash. It definitely looked like a couple of rocks. This is a big mass. This is a 7924. Not at a great percentage with that great big green wedge there. This is probably, I'm going to come in here. It's a 2%er, blue cap, so we're going to keep moving on there. This could be not a bad rock here. It's a 14%er. That's not going to do it for us, so back up we go. We'll turn on the V-scan, roll this back out again, and off we go. We'll ping out again. Opportunity marker over this way. Make sure that we're hyper-focused in on it. Just a single rock. And then a couple over this way as well. So we're keep moving. Kind of using the new scanning mechanics as best we can. Got a couple of opportunities over this way. Focus in. That's a single rock. 11 away, you know, single rock. 6 away, single rock. 9, that was a 6 away, single rock. 9 away, single rock. 4 away, single rock. 10.4 away. Not getting the scan on that guy. You know, sometimes, oh, single rock. All right, well, we'll keep moving towards the sun. That's the thing about using some kind of either a heading or the sun as your opportunity to look. Stainless says, good day, citizens. What planet are we mining on today? We are on Lyria, sir. And that's where we're doing a little scanning, is on Lyria today. So ping out again. Got one out here at about 7. I think we probably already pinged this guy. Oh, single rock. You can see when the server's actually responding well, and you guys hear, I could probably turn this back off again as we fly along. And some people like those statistics, and you know, and some people don't. I'm happy to turn it back on if you guys want. I normally run with them off unless people ask what my FPS is. So we're just going to keep on scanning here. So this is the new scanning mechanic on Lyria. I think it's a good one. Now here, there's a lot of rocks lined up here. It'll be interesting to see how many pings we get. Almost looks like some doublers over this way, even though, you know, there's a lot of. So let's go take a look. Yep, we are getting multiple flashes. Now they could just be lined up rocks. Hey, Brianna Joy. Hi, Brianna. How are you today? Brianna says, good morning, Space Shorts. Good morning. How are you? Now we got a single rock here. And oh, look at us, all just one big line. We're going to have a single here, and I can see it way off in the distance, a single there. So now that's not, well, pull out the laser real quick and see what type that is. That's a nice deposit. And that's the other thing, you guys, when you're flying by these, you can just, that's an obsidian. You actually can pull out the mining laser. It will immediately tell you differently, like what's in those things. This is just going to be a single over here. But, you know, it's just, look at, they were all lined up on that 2-degree margin. It's so funny. It's right here is the rock. I'll just kind of pull the, you know, when you are flying over singles, you might as well at least just pop the mining laser out, right? I mean, why not? So we'll go ahead and pull back out here. We're starting to get kind of into our groove a little bit with the scanning mechanics. Just as I say that, right? I don't V-scan. You know, okay, what do we got here? Nothing. It's, oh, single rock. 12 kilometers away, single rock, okay. Back out we come. Weeto Low. Welcome to the channel, Weeto Low. Not a name I recognize. I just got my first prospector. What is the best mining laser to get Quant Solo? Weeto Low, I suggest the Lancet MH1. That's going to be the most forgiving laser. Now, it's not the most powerful laser, but it is the most forgiving laser when it comes to the unstable Quantanium. And I would absolutely recommend that 100 out of 100 times. That's my recommendation. And it's not even, it's you know, that to me is like a very, you know, now different people will get comfortable with different lasers, and potentially would use like a helix for more mining power. But myself, I think that for efficiency, I don't. Yeah, it's really, that's the one. Stainless, welcome to the channel. Stainless says, I logged out in my prospector on Daymar yesterday. Is there Yes, there is Quantanium on Daymar. The meta would be different though, right? You'll have to go to every single rock and look at every single rock. And kind of use hit M for your mining laser and fly over them and see if they're Quantanium deposits or not. So, but I love Daymar Quantanium mining. I don't do it a touch because it's not quite as efficient as Lyria stuff, and mostly people are interested in the meta on Lyria because this is considered the most efficient place to get Quantanium. And so you can see here. Even though it hasn't been we haven't done super great so far today, this is the only place in the Stanton system where more than 2 rocks is Quantanium. So just one of those things. Augix, welcome to the channel, Augix. Once again, not a name I recognize. Lots of new faces today. Love it. I'm thinking about buying the game, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. What do you think I should do? Well, I'll tell you what. Coming up is the Fleet Week. And I know that they're going to be running some packages, but more importantly, Augix, they're going to have a free fly event, and during the free fly, you get to download the game and play for free for a week and decide if the game's okay for you. So there's normally, like at the end of this month, there will be a free fly event. So if you really do, you have a couple of choices. There's plenty of $45 investments, that you could buy the game and give it a try, or you could just wait for the free fly event. And the free fly event is an excellent way to acclimate yourself to whether or not this game would be right for you. And it's $0. Of course, yes. I mean, Stainless says buy it. I love Star Citizen. I've been playing a year and a half. I've been mining a year and a half. I'm getting on it, and I just love this game. Absolutely adore this game. I mean, I like this game like I liked Star Wars Galaxies. I like this game like I liked Elite 1998 on the 1988 on the Commodore 64. The original Braben Elite. That's how much I like Star Citizen. I do not stray that far from Star Citizen. I'm hooked, line, and sinker, 100% on board with Star Citizen. I love this game. So, and I've been gaming since the 80s on the Commodore 64. There's a tell on my age, you guys, right there. So, cool. We're just kind of cruising along here. And we're going to get a little altitude, do a 360 scan here in a little bit. And keep on moving here. So, now and then, it's not a bad idea, especially when the cloud cover is not too terrible, to just go ahead, grab some altitude, send out a 360 scan, and just kind of see what you got, Now, I maybe don't have the angle just right. All right, I didn't. So there's several at distances over here. Let's kind of move in. There's 3 opportunity markers at distances over here that are just a little out of our range. So as we get in, we're at 12 kilometers. That's a single rock. 11.7, that's a single rock. 11.4. Didn't quite get a hit marker on that one. We'll close back down on it again. Probably gems, maybe over that way. Sometimes there's a single rock. I think we did that one there. We'll keep on moving. Brianna Joy says she'll get a handful of ships to use during the free fly. Fleet Week starts May 20th, so that's not even that far away. I'm curious what new ships will be there. I'm very curious about that as well. I know that they've hinted at a fresh one, and they usually have and they're usually military variants. Stainless says, I've been a backer for 10 years and just started mining a couple weeks ago, there's something for everyone in the game. Especially with the recent changes for FPS stuff, I 100% agree. I couldn't be more happy for my FPS brethren. You know, I don't FPS as much as other people. In space, there's some doublers right there. We'll go move on these doublers. See at that distance, that's doublers, you guys. That is clearly 2 rocks. Those are doublers. They're right next to each other. I'm pretty confident in this case. They're not just lined up. They're kind of, you know, not one necessarily behind another. Now, we'll see when we get there. But I'm fairly certain that, you know, that's the distance you can find these at now. And so it's, you know, like we've talked about, the meta's changed a little bit. So we're moving in on these guys. We'll fire another scan. We'll kind of keep ourselves. They're right here. I can almost see them. There's a single rock. We'll go ahead and pull the mining laser. You know, and I've been much luckier this week than I have in the stream today, and that's okay. I really wanted to take some time and demonstrating, you know, and you can see as the stream has worn on, I've even gotten more confident with the way that the scanning meta works. So, you know, we are looking for something to mine, and I did name this stream today Feast and Famine. And there's a reason for that, right? Because as good as the scanning mechanics are here on Lyria, when we go to the air in Halo, it's going to be a Tale of Two Cities. That's a 22%er. Not a great rock. But there's 2 of them here, you guys. That's an 18%er. So let's think about this. That's a 3,018%. So 1836, 46, 54. So there's a 540 mass. That's 10 SCU. And this is 22%. This isn't great either. This is this is about 20 SCU. So I can mine these 2 rocks right here and end up with probably in the neighborhood of 20 SCU. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. You know what? It's not perfect, you know, and we can find better rocks, but this is a mining stream, and we're going to do some mining today. So we'll go ahead and loosen up the laser head. We're hitting G to loosen up the laser head for sure. Stainless, as I've been, once again, a backer for 10 years or something. I agree with that. FPS has now where you can shoot people in the face and then collect their loot and sell it. That's what I was the point I was trying to drive to when I kind of came across these rocks, which piqued my interest and diluted my thought process. Angel S says, any good recommendation on the best start ship? Titan Avenger, I think is what you're, or Avenger Titan, whatever the, that particular one, it's the one that looks like a penguin. I think hands down, people say that's Angel. That's the best starting ship because it's got a size 4 gun on its nose. It's got 2 size 3s. It's got some room to put some stuff in it. Now, if you purely wanted to go mining, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, if you wanted to rock mine right off the bat, like ROC mining, which is using like this like this car that goes on the surface and does surface minables, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think that the Nomad's not a bad choice either. But if you want to know, I think everybody talks about the Avenger Titan, and I definitely think that there's a reason for that. It's a great all-arounder. Brianna Joy says, I pulled a uni first out of the Halo. It seems like there's more abundant quant out there. Just lots of unscannables. And Belios, good morning, miners. Hi, Belios. How are you? It's nice to see you. Once upon a time, you guys, Belios made a suggestion for QuantCalc, which is our app that we sell that helps calculate how much Quantanium is in these rocks. And it got put into the into the app. So I just like to mention it. I see Belios and I think of that time Belios said that. Nice to see you, Belios. How are you this morning? Blue Outrider says, I prefer the 325A over the Titan, but it does cost a little more due to its luxury appearance. 325A is not a bad ship either. And I could definitely see an argument being made for the 325A. If you watch a lot of starter vehicle suggestion videos, easy for me to say, they're going to kind of stay around the Titan as kind of the price per performance. But I think, it's now Angel's asking, can you mine with all ships, or no, you can't. Only mining specific ships. Now, the Prospector is $150 or $155. That's going to be your entry level, quote unquote, mining ship for doing the type of mining I'm doing here. And when you have these low percentage rocks, guys, you're going to be doing lots of braking. They're not going to normally break terribly clean. Now, you know, we'll have to see here what's in this guy. Yep, see there's just one. See, a lot of purples in these little mass rocks, too. 18% there. It's interesting. Oh, nothing there. Interesting. 37% of the Quantanium broke into this one here. What about the... There's obviously another rock down there. I'm not seeing how to target it. Let's go ahead and peel around a little bit. I just hit the spot where I could see the rest of it. Oh, it's that little spot right there, I think. All right, so some of this may break down in there too. So, all right, so I see what we need to do. We're going to break this one down here first, below it. Tina Peterson says, hey, peeps, how you doing? Angel Adess says, okay, thanks for the advice. Yeah, I really think that you can't go wrong with either one of those choices. The Nomad, the 325A, or the Titan Avenger, or the Avenger Titan. I think it's the Avenger Titan, I'm sorry. I always get those two mixed up. But I will tell you that out of the three, I think the Avengers, unless you're going for a purely mining build, I think that the Avenger Titan is probably the best choice of the three, just for its cost for performance. So I'm going to break this one down first, down here. Then we're going to break the rock up above it. You know, these low percentage guys are not great. We're probably going to be messing around somewhere between 15 to 20 SEU on these two rocks, which isn't great. But, you know, I mean, we could fly around and look all day, and we're not necessarily doing that. And we definitely were able to show off the scanning mechanics, which is more of anything like I wanted to show off, and do a little bit of Quantanium mining. And you guys can see I fired a Brant that kind of flattened this guy out. This guy's going to break here, and now I'm going to immediately go to this guy. Now, if you notice on the Brant, I have 42 seconds left, and I'm going to race this guy up pretty quickly. But as soon as it starts getting up near the green, I'm going to drift back way. I'm trying to use the Brant to break two rocks with one consumable use charge. That's kind of what I'm up to there. So I think you guys are having a little bit of a discussion about ships. That's great. Abyss 1144N, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize. Abyss does a double salute there. I appreciate that. Bellio says, I had the Aurora MR for a starter. Yep, Aurora MR's fine. Tina Peterson linked some stuff in the description. Thank you, Tina. That was very kind of you. All right. I don't actually think there's anything more to break here. This guy had nothing in it. I'm wrong. There is something more to break here. There's a 38%er down here. All right. Well, we'll do it. We'll break this guy down too. So we're gonna crumble this guy into purples. We're gonna turn around and break down the other rock. This is a 1.79 instability on a, you know, we normally can handle a 1.79 without a consumable. It will be a touch jumpy. 1.85, 1.75 around there is where it's kind of a, anything like 1.9 and north is usually an auto fire for me. Because it can be so unstable. And what I mean by an auto fire is for the Brant. Don Corleone, welcome to the channel, Don. Not a name I recognize. How are you doing today? Hero HR, welcome to the channel. Not a name I recognize. I don't know, Hero. Maybe you've been on the stream another time. There was another Hero at some point. The world always could use another Hero. That's for sure. And so we broke that guy down. There's just a couple of low percentage rocks here, and low mass rocks. Not the best too, but we're breaking them down anyways. Having a little fun, doing a little mining on the mining stream. So we've demonstrated all throughout the stream today kind of the new scanning mechanics for Lyria specifically, the active ping. And so Hero is saying, can I play this game without lag with an RTX 3080? Now, sometimes your CPU bottleneck too, Hero. I certainly have great experiences playing this game, not necessarily lagged, and then I have some experiences where it doesn't play as well lagged. It is a little laggy. But I will tell you, they've made significant changes in 3.17. And so, I have myself a 3900X and a 3070. I play at 1440p. And I have I don't have a lot of stuttering. When you first log in, it flattens out a little bit, and I have fairly good performance. Performance that I'm certainly happy with. Now, you don't get a ton of FPS. Sometimes now 60 in some of the major cities. With the 3080 and say a nice CPU, you probably can get 60, 70 FPS, and sometimes way better, depending on how many people are on the servers as well. But there are some servers that struggle, and you definitely notice a little bit. And different people will have different comments as well, I'm sure, to offer up on that as well, Hero. Blue Outrider says, oh, yeah, and that's a good point. Blue Outrider's making an excellent point. 32 gig of RAM make a huge difference in this game. Outside of an SSD, a CPU, and a halfway decent video card, the biggest jump that I've seen in performance was when I went from 16 to 32 gig of RAM. Couldn't imagine. That's a very good point Blue Outrider's making, and one that I strongly recommend as well. SSD, yes, you want to have an SSD. You don't want an old school hard drive. You want an SSD for sure, like even like a 970 Sony Evo Pro, something like that. A 970, that's not the Pro. The 970 Sony is a good one. Like something like that would be fine. Obviously the faster the seek times, the better. You definitely want to install on an SSD. So we're flirting with a 2.13 mass here. I don't know why I'm not just auto-firing a Brant. But it seems to be fairly... Oh, Sarah, now that's what happens when I don't auto-fire a Brant, right? I cooked it just a touch. But not so much where it made a difference. Gray Peter, how you doing? Gray, nice to see you. Should I kiss the Don's ring and pledge allegiance? I almost stuffed some cotton balls in my mouth and did it like a Don Corleone quote. So I think that's how he did that, was like with some cotton balls in his mouth, the actor who played the Don or whatever. So I always did the same thing, Cue the Godfather music. Great. Obviously Godfather is awesome. Don Corleone must have had a question that I didn't do a great job. Darkside, too. Darkside, I missed you. How are you doing, Darkside? I'm looking back at the chat. You guys, when I get mining, I get a little hyper-focused on the mining, and I miss chat stuff. So if I miss you, especially if you are people that are new to the channel, any of you, I like to answer every one of your chats. I do my best to answer every one of your chats, but I will say when I get mining, I definitely get a little lost sometimes in it. So... it's just one of those things. 6800 XT and a Ryzen 9 3900 with 32 gig of RAM. Angel, you'll do just fine with that. I have a 3900X myself, 32 gig of RAM, and I have a 3070. You'll do very good, Angel, with that. Darkside says, been unable to play 3.17. The DirectX issue regarding 11.1 just upgraded to Alder Lake. 64 gig, 30. Glad to be back in the verse again. Oh, Darkside, that's interesting. I didn't really know, of course I wasn't experiencing it myself. That's probably why. I think I remember you mentioning hitting a snag, but I didn't realize it had made it unplayable. Oh, Missive, welcome to the channel. To be honest, I'm running 86 average FPS with a 3070 32 gig of RAM and an Intel i7 11th gen. I guess you're making a valid point saying a good CPU and a GPU means everything. I do think that they make a huge difference. My frames aren't going to be as good right now, guys, because I'm streaming in 1080p. But I have been playing in 1440p, and my performance has been fine, I will tell you. And I am looking to make the jump, maybe later this year, to 4K. So when I shoot videos and that type of thing, they're in 4K. But I'm not in any hurry. Things have been going great as far as for 1440p and streaming in 1080p. Star Stream, sup, chat? Hey, Star, how's it going today? Nice to see you. We're out and about, just kind of doing a little bit of this and that for sure. Nice to see you today. Angel says 32 screen. Hopefully, I can get to 60. Oh, you'd be surprised. I think you're going to be happy to know that in 3.17 frames are up for sure. Performance is better. Is it perfect? No, but it's a lot better than it was in 3.16, and a lot better than previous versions as well. So, I've got two yucky rocks here, you guys, that I've broken up. Yucky's the operative word. And we are just going to start cleaning some of this stuff up. So we're going to struggle here to get 15 SCU or to 20 SCU on board, but you know what? We're going to struggle together. So, so let's just try and find the highest percentage we can here. Yeah, this 66 will be an excellent beginning, sadly, in our like I said, I broke a couple of yucky rocks up here. But that's okay. We're just going to bring some Quantanium on board, and we really have done a really good job with the new scanning mechanics. That's an 8%er. Let's kind of wait. That's a 9%er. There's a 64. Anything north of 50, I'm going to start with. And bring that on board. Anything north of 50 is coming on board. This guy right here. And we'll take, hey, that's north of 50. It's a 50.57. Yeah, and the game isn't fully optimized yet. There's a 70%er right there. I agree that 100%. It's not fully optimized yet. It's got a long way to go, but they are making some headway, for sure. And, you know, and obviously for those of us who love the game, you know, we understand, and we just kind of, every day I play Star Citizen, I'm never not happy playing Star Citizen. I love this game. I truly do. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, and I can appreciate why it's not for everybody. I will tell you, I love Star Citizen, bugs and all. You know, I'm not going to tell you occasionally I don't have frustrations like anybody else would, but for the most part, any day I can mine in Star Citizen is better. There's, holy mackerel, you guys, there's a hundo down here hiding underneath it. Look at that, there's a hundo. That's awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, bugs and all, warts and all. I adore this game. You know, I would go mining every day of my life in Star Citizen if I was given the opportunity as far as gaming goes. You know, we all definitely can't make Star Citizen our job. That would be a short-lived experience. So, Great Peter says average 77 FPS, 1440, 5800X, and a 6800X T, 32 gig of RAM. Absolutely, not a bad system there. I'm trying to bring some stuff on board. We are going up a little bit here, not great. Balio says, been trying surface mine on Aberdeen. Is the sky always yellow pea soup, or does it ever clear up? No, it's always a pea soup, Balios, for sure. It's 100% always that way on Aberdeen. Now, there are different amounts of the soup, but it's always soupy. Brianna Joy says, it's fine to run on my 8700K and a GTX 1080, just limited to 1080p. Hey, there were some hundos over here, you guys. Yes, I agree with that. I had a 1070 and it seems like an i5. I was a lot more CPU bound, but I played on my 1070 before I built this system. I'm not currently running on Windows 11. I'm on Windows 10 still. 11 I built the system kind of last year, I'd say like around this time. So 11 wasn't out then. Balio says, RH Wells, nice to see you, RH. How are you doing today? So does anyone prefer the RX 6900X or the 3080 Ti? Good question. I know that one of the reasons I would use AMD video card for sure, but I do stream and I do use the NVEC encoder. Hey, Starstreams, if you're still here, do you use the NVEC encoder? Do you stream with OBS? That would be a great question for Star. He's, you know, I know that you guys, you know, and I don't, most of you know Star streams, and if you don't, you should. First of all, Star's his song was in my head for like a week. It was ridiculous. All my family and my coworkers were like, "What are you singing about Daymar all the time?" But Star Streams does an awesome stream too, you guys, and you should. You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Please check out his stream. It's great. You know, I sneak on it from time to time, and wish I had. Wish I did as good of a job. But you know, that would be interesting if Star's still around. He jumped on for a sec. But I use because I do streaming, the NVEC encoder is important to me. And I guess I know that there are some encoding workarounds, but I just haven't really looked into those yet. But I'm definitely going to be going with the next generation card for sure. So, there's 1% in that guy. Yeah, like I told you guys, we were going to be struggling to get 15 SCU on board. Nothing in that guy. Some of these have Quantanium in them. We'll pull them on board. Now we'll kind of grab these lower percentage rocks. That 6% is real low, though. There's 13 SCU. There's a 56%er. Ooh, good size rock, though. All right, so now we're over 15 SCU. And approaching 16 SCU. And we normally, of course, do better than this, but you know what? It was a couple of opportunities to break rocks and show off the mining mechanics, and I don't. Whenever I have a golden rule that if it's over 15 SCU, I mine it. Now that's a 9 and an 8%er. Those are kind of clean up at the end of it. 13%er, 1%er. Let's grab the 13%er. Not a great, but it will get us over 16 SCU, which is still not bad money. I mean, it's not terrible. Well, that's definitely nothing. That's nothing. There's an 18%er over here. We're starting to get to the top of our capacity. And we hit the top of our capacity. Like I said, we were going to struggle to get between 15 and 20 out of these two. I opted to mine it anyways because I wanted, like I said, I named the stream Feast and Famine today. Now, we didn't necessarily feast, but we certainly, obviously, we all know the Lyria meta is great. And so there certainly are times when you know, we can absolutely do fantastic on Lyria. Now, it's interesting, you know, we're going to head out now, we're going to take this in, and we're going to head out to the Aaron Halo, and we're going to mine, you know, in the Aaron Halo. So our goal is going to be to get this guy back. I will kind of put this in V mode for a second. Oh, maybe it was already. Let me scroll these back. Not going to worry about it. Let's go ahead and just, we'll come out of Quantum. We'll go ahead and we'll go set this guy in the refinery, and then we'll head out to the Aaron Halo, and I will try and catch up. Back to Damar, then says Belios. I'm not sure anybody answered RH Wells' question, 6900 versus the 3080. Oh, Missa says Windows 11 is not really stable anyways. Angel of Death says, I am happy with my RX 6800 XT. I think that's a good one, Angel. Belios says, 2080 XC here. Look forward to not being able to find a 4080. I'm in the same boat. Gonna sip some Java here. Jaguar, welcome to the channel. How you doing, Jag? Brianna says, I hope the 4000 series sucks at mining. Yes, well, also, Ethereum is supposed to kind of go over a cliff at some point this summer as far as price per GPU. You know, and so that's supposed to take some pressure off the GPU market as well. Gray Peter says, I found a video on YouTube showing a different way of scanning using the ping. It's been working great for me. Gray Peter, yes, I did a whole bunch of that stuff on Lyria today. And so if you go back and watch the stream, yes, I was using ping like crazy. And I, you know, I know when people go back and look at how it was demonstrated, you know, I was getting used to it. It was a touch clunky. But I think as time wore on in the stream today, I definitely got better at it, but I definitely was here to teach and do that teaching with it. And I hope everybody was able to pick up on that scanning change and we're going to be doing lots more in the future as well. So, all right, we're waiting for the cool off here. We're going to roll these back out, and then we'll get back out of VScan, and we're going to roll this back out. Yeah, okay, I want to make sure I'm nice and far back. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of sail on in. I'm going to go back to sticks here. And, yeah, we're going to keep ourselves honest. You know, I'm not going to fly in at a crazy clip here, and I'm definitely not going to aim at the station. I will, you know, as a lesson to everybody, as you're coming into the station, you know, I'm coming in at about 372. I've already done first quantum, second quantum. I haven't even heard first alarm. We don't have to be in that big of a hurry, and I actually crashed into the station a couple of weeks ago on a Friday, maybe a week or, you know, ago, where it's, you know, one of those things, you know, if you don't point at the station, you won't crash in the station. So we're going to take it easy on our way in. Brianna Joy says you run in the VK00 on that prospector. I actually have the Rush drive. So you have the Atlas, which is a great all-arounder. You have the VK00, which is an awesome short-range drive. In between those two drives, I tend to find the Rush drive has a little more range, is still kind of very good at... It's not Atlas-like distance, but it's better than the VK00. And so it's just... That's what I've been using. As I have it's called the Rush, and I do like this drive. So as soon as I get that please proceed, I normally drop my gear, hit my VTOL. You can see my VTOLs are down. I'm just going to bring this guy in, and we still haven't heard first alarm. And we'll bring this guy in. So, Angel says it's a lot to learn in this game. It is. You don't, like, do things over and over, Angel, to get, like, an extra skill point. So you don't go, like, mining 142. Mining 143. You earn your stripes by putting in time and kind of getting familiar with that stuff. Gray Peter says, I've been using Win 11 for a few months now. It seems pretty stable. Yeah, different people have had definitely different experiences with it. There's a Space Penguin over there, you guys. That's the, that's the what we talked about earlier, by the way, as a really good entry ship. And in we come. We'll set it down. I will do kill the engines. I will do a post-flight here, where we pop a little. I still haven't heard first alarm. Lots of times you hear first alarm when you're getting out of your chair here. Matu1, welcome to the channel, Matu. You boost up to 850, and there you go. There's first alarm as we're just kind of getting out of the prospector, and that's very common. You boost up to 850 and take off throttle. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways. It brings you perfectly to the station. Yes, I definitely one of the things I'll say, Matu, is I definitely, how I fly when I'm not chatting on stream and how I fly chatting on stream are completely two different experiences. I definitely kind of get looking at the chat and, chatty and trying to make points or reading some chats. And I definitely, my skills dilute significantly when I'm kind of, it's like all my cores are processing the different things and I'm doing not a great job at all. So sometimes I do pretty good though. And I'm not saying you were being critical of me either. I just was just trying to make a good joke there, and maybe, I don't know. Bellio says, anyone know what STGR button is next to decoy and noise button? That's a good question. I don't know what the STGR button is. If anybody in the community, if you know what the STGR button is, if you could answer that one, that would be great. Let's go ahead and store the prospector. Now, it wasn't some magical prospector run here. This wasn't a uni. It wasn't some crazy amount. It still was over 15 SCU, and anytime I have a rule, if it's over 15 FCU as a miner in Star Citizen, I enjoy mining. Yes, getting the uni out there every single time is great, but you know what? Also putting stuff in the hopper is great too. So Matu once is understandable. That's great. Yeah, thank you, Matu. I appreciate you. Kind of, that's me kind of putting my foot on my own gas, by the way, Matu. Not you putting it on me. Marcus Wynn says, are you on HURL3? No, Marcus, I'm actually on ArcL1. That's where I am. It's on ArcL1. And Blue Outrider says, Stagger improves sustained DPS a little. Staggers weapons fire for when you have more than one weapon. That's what it is. It's weapon stagger. So yes, it's it's instead of like all the cannons going, like let's say you have like 4 cannons, 2 will shoot, then 2 will shoot, 2 will shoot, then 2 will shoot. You're staggering the fire. Yeah, it's the same as a turret weapon. That's what it is. Yep, I forgot that, you guys. That's I do combat so little. I'm not not that little. I mean, I do occasionally fly and do some combat, but I don't do it. I don't do it a ton. And there's certainly some people in our org who are great at that side of things. Set up work order. Yep, not a nothing to write home about. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's 1,598 SCU of Quantanium, right? So 1,598 SCU of Quantanium. If we just get out our calculator, just so we know, 1598 times 88 is 140,624. So we still put 140,000 on. Geez, oh Christmas. I wonder if I did that math right. That seems like it's a touch high. I'm going to go do that math again. I might have punched in a number wrong. Because I don't know, is it really 280 on a full loan? Maybe it is. Well, I just want to make sure I do the math just right for you guys. So 1598 times 88. Yeah, 140,624. So we brought in half a load and I made 140 grand, you guys. I mean, it's not like it's not like it's terrible. Now, one of the things I have been doing in between refinery runs, and I'm sure you guys can understand why, is I do take a moment and I will grab yourself a drink, grab yourself an energy bar. Not a bad idea. Keep yourself hydrated. Keep yourself. I've been kind of making this now part of my standard routine, and once upon a time it seems like I did that before too. And of course littering is storing it or whatever I need to do there. Chris, how are you doing, Chris? Chris Bates says,
See anything you like?
you know, how you doing, everybody? Chris, nice to see you. Yeah, it's not bad money, you guys. I mean, you know, that's the thing I'm trying to say. It's like I got half a load of Quantanium in, and I still made 150K. And that's, like I said, that's kind of the lowest that we ever, you know, I knew that was somewhere around 15 to 20 SCU, depending on how concentrated or broke up it was. There was some 1%ers there. You can drink when your hands, work. Yeah, you can drink when your hands work. That's exactly right, Marcus. So, going through part of the stream, I probably should ask, if you guys are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. As you can see, that we've had lots of new faces. Once upon a time when we did streams, there was only, 10, 15, 20 of you. Now our streams are starting to average a lot more people, and part of that is because you are liking and subscribing. Belios says, wait, how did you chug that bottle? Belios, you hold down the left mouse button. That's how you chug. You can chug the whole thing at one. You have to be careful, Belios, because you can kind of get caught in the animation loop where you're just taking single chugs. But if you hold down the left mouse button, you'll chug, 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 chug. That's why streams are cool, you guys. Just like what Belios is saying. He's like, wait a minute. You can chug the bottle? I had no idea. You probably were taking single sips. Belios, you can take single sips, or you can chug. Which, come on, I'm a chugger. You got to chug it out sometimes. How many bad puns can Spacesuit make in a short period of time? More than should be allowed by a human. That's for sure. So let's do a pre-flight, if you will, on the Prospector to make sure that we're still groovy. It is Prospector 2. Remember, Brianna, this is that Rush drive that I was talking about. It's the Rush. It's a size C civilian. It's weird how this isn't necessarily kind of speaking to the Rush drive. Oh, maybe I just need to hover it here. That's fine. It's a size C civilian, but it is kind of, I tend to find this is an in-betweener drive. It's in between the Atlas and the VK00. The VK00 is an awesome drive for short range. For the all-arounder, if you're going to be taking your Prospector all over Stanton, the Atlas is the way to go. But this is kind of an in-between drive, and just one that I've kind of decided that I like. It's definitely not the meta. But I do have the Brants and the FLTRXLs. We know we abused a little bit of the Brant, but that's going to be just fine. We're going to go ahead and pull Prospector 2, and we're going to head over to the Air and Halo.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System.
And Marcus Wynn says, I'm about to do a stream a little bit later on. That's awesome. Like, Marcus, don't be afraid to share your info for sure, so people can come watch. And that way, when I go back and watch the stream sometimes, I'll see that info as well, Marcus, because probably there's a good chance I may forget that you said that. But just like, look at that. It just beat me up, you guys. Pad 2, yep. But yeah, please do drop your info in. We're always promoting other people's streams. Your Star Streams comes. I love Star Streams. Sandy Claus does some stuff. I love Santa Claus does like a radio Star Citizen thing. I love that. We do have lots of people who do some content creation. Hero's asking how many ships do I have? Not nearly as many as most people, but a few. Chris Bates says, sorry I'm late. Did you blow up or crash yet? Chris, I didn't blow up or crash yet. I mean, there's still opportunity. So, Bellio says, for me, 4 ships, Prospector, Titan, Connie, Phoenix, Connie, Taurus. I will tell you, if I was stuck, I probably all of you know this. It's going to be, it shouldn't be lost on you. If there's only one ship in Star Citizen I could have, it'd be the Prospector. If there was 2 ships I could have in Star Citizen, it would be the Prospector and the Constellation Taurus. And that's the current meta. Maybe when the rail-in comes in, maybe I'll go for the rail-in as far as for a hauler. But I love the Constellation Taurus because it's kind of a really good hybrid ship. You can actually do some bounty hunting with it, but it's a gun ship, but it also has 174 SCU. And I've heard info runners say that where you would normally launch that snub fighter out of the far back, that is actually a shielded cargo area. And if that is true, if that works out to be a shielded cargo area in the Taurus, that's a pretty big room to be shielded. And it does have some strange looking floor plates in the back end of that Taurus. So here we are. We're going to head towards the Aaron Halo. I'm going to, of course, head towards HURL5, and we're going to drop out.
Thank you. And please visit again.
And we are going to drop out at 7.7, and we'll work our way back if we have to. So here we go. We're going to punch it. And off we go. And I'm going to do my best to jump out at about 7.7. And then we're going to pivot. We're going to look at ArcL2. We may jump back. We're going to look for the thicker part of the Halo. And I know there's a precision here. I don't necessarily worry about that precision so much, but we'll fall out of here at 7.7 and see how we're doing. Brianna Joy says, I think I'm running the burst on my Halo miner. I needed the speed and distance that it offers where I mine the Halo. Yeah, so Brianna, I think you've done the same thing, kind of gotten off of the real stuck meta, maybe trying some different options there. Bellio says, Taurus supports my surface mining operations. That's a very good point. The other thing that Bellios is making an excellent point, and one I should have made you guys. The Taurus, not only is it an excellent gunship hauler for 174 SE of Quantanium, it also has a very small footprint for putting it down on the surface, just 2 skids for a hell of a ship. And then also you can it's got that big belly cargo center where you can just drop, you can just drop the ROCs, 2 of them, and maybe even 3 of them, but solidly 2 of them right out of the belly of that thing as well. Minix Gaming is asking, are refineries working? Absolutely. Oh, Minx Gaming. Absolutely, Minx. Refineries are working. Not the new refinery ships, but the station refineries are absolutely working. Here we go. 7 point. And this isn't necessarily the thickest part of the Halo, which is just fine. We're going to go ahead and pivot on ArcL1. And I'll just check the distance to ArcL1. Now, I always keep ArcL1 as my 12 o'clock. And I like to, I actually like to tuck in somewhere between 5.7 and 5.2. So what I'm going to do is just, I probably could have did a little bit better job. So we're just going to go ahead and hit a couple of spots here. Marcus says, I'm just minding my own business. What an excellent pun. Nicely done, sir. Love it. And so I'm going to split the difference here at about 5.3. We'll fall back out. Still not super thick here, but you know what? We'll just go ahead and get started and see how we do. So no big deal. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of... Here's the feast and famine that we were talking about today. So we've got a ping going. We're really going to... There are going to be opportunity markers, but we're going to have to actually close on those opportunity markers quite a bit. So I'm going to free up the controls here. Most of the time we're going to fly towards ArcL1. But I'll tell you... so Marcus is asking, am I doing HOSAS, HOTAS? So I fly with 2 sticks, or HOSAS, when I'm flying kind of normally. When I get into mining, I just do mouse and keyboard. That's just kind of... Don Corleone says, sorry guys, had an internet disconnect. Over, I'm back. Welcome back, Don. How you doing, sir? Nicely done. Hero says, can you put your ship to autopilot and go somewhere else on your ship? You absolutely can. Hero, that's absolutely... While you're in Quantum, you can actually just go to the back of your ship, work on, look at, put things in gun racks, take things out of gun racks. Absolutely, while you're flying along, it's super cool thing to do. And so, yep, we're just kind of approaching here. We're not even relying. I mean, I will tell you, I'm not even going to rely on the V-Spin. It really isn't going to be a great way to go about your business. You can see the V-scan, it just doesn't work the same here. So it's just one of those things where I'm just kind of relying on pings and trying to get within 1,000 and looking at the rocks. So T. Gris says, yeah, more like cruise control. And there you go. Here's some doublers. And this is the one thing, it's a touch dangerous. It's one of the things why my speeds are going to be... Now these are Q types, which is fantastic. But this particular one's not going to have quite enough in it. What about this guy here? So this is going to be better, but not perfect. It's probably going to be like 15% or something if I were to guess. Just based on the wedge. We'll go ahead and hit this guy and get a scan result. 5%, so not as good. And this one here is going to be fairly low too. I'll hit it with the laser. But the first rocks we find were Quantanium. So I think Brianna was saying, you know, she's finding a lot more Quantanium rocks, but definitely still a strong amount of unscannables as well. And we're just going to kind of ping. And here's the thing, right, you guys? You know, as far as the pinging goes, I mean, as far as V scanning and that type of thing, I am going to maybe set my my amount to 40, my scanning angle to 45 degrees. And we're just going to kind of see how that goes for us. Now, what is the next setting above 45 degrees? Let's look at that. 22 degrees. So let's go ahead and V scan. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna do this. I don't want to. We're gonna V scan. I am gonna set down now to 22 degrees because I am interested in see how a passive works while things are out in front of me. So I want to turn off the V scan. We're gonna approach now, and we're just gonna ping, and we're just gonna see how pings do. We're gonna stay. We are going to V-scan, and yeah, we are concentrated at a 22-degree angle. So we're just going to kind of cruise along here. Brianna Joy says, do not store your ship with guns in your racks. Was testing, lost my guns. Oh, wow, Brianna, I did not know that. Good tip. Good tip. Astroman says, where have you guys been mining Quantanium at? I'm trying to find good spots this patch. Astroman, you really want to go to Lyria. Lyria's the place where you're going to want to go. Lyria is still really good. And Astroman, if you go back and watch the beginning of my stream, I do demonstrate the new scanning mechanics for locating it. It's one of those things where the scanning mechanics have changed some, for sure. Now, we've got a pretty tight window here, you guys. We're not necessarily getting a whole lot of extra scans. So let me go ahead and I'm going to alt back. There's a 45 and get a scan. Okay, I'm going to alt back again. I think this is going to take us to around 90. You know, and we're just going to let's just try this 90 as we kind of move forward here a little bit and see how we are going to kind of focus on what's, you know, trying to learn and work together a little bit on this. Kojak, nice to see you, Kojak. How you doing, sir? You know, and we are kind of, you know, I do have it angled to 90. One thing I probably should do, though, is unfocus this part of it, though, too. So that's a good point. Let me go ahead and see now. Yep, so there we go. So now that we've got the settings just right, I think we're going to be able to find, find some things that we're looking for. Don Carly says, when you do minimize the scanning circle, that's if you go hit V, there is a couple of things happening here. Number one, when I go into the V scan, if I use my mouse wheel, it changes the focus of the scanner. I've also set the angle by holding Alt down and V at the same time. You can see I'm actually using both those mechanics at the same time. So that's actually changing both the field of view as well as how focused the scanner is. Now, in order to kind of unchain those from each other, I am going to kind of bring this down to 45 or 90. I think I'm at 90 right now. And then I'm unhitting Alt, and now I can hyper focus this in and out. So I'm going to keep this out, and I'm going to ping. And we're just kind of, you can see, I'm just trying to keep the opportunities that are kind of in a cone out in front of me. And then, you know, we can actually, as we get closer, kind of ping in and focus on this a little bit. And then just, you know, we're trying to see if we can find some better ways to scan. But the reality is the scanning in the air and Halo, there's lots of dead rocks. There are lots of unscannables. And the same things that are applying to the meta in Lyria don't necessarily apply here. It's one of the reasons why I named the... now you can see, look, I got a single marker ping. But none of that means anything in the air and Halo, except for the good news is you're not necessarily going to run into the rock when you're flying up to it. But you've got to pull out your old mining laser. And you can see right off the bat, I can tell you, this is an unscannable. And why is it unscannable? Because my mining laser's out, and I'm not getting any scan results. And this is called a dead rock. This is an unscannable rock, so no big deal. We'll keep on. We'll put the mining laser back. We're still at kind of a 90 degree. We'll go ahead and just keep moving forward here. I think we've got things set in a good position now. We're at like a 90 degree angle. We're casting a wide net on the focus. There's an 11.9. Now, if I do bring this in here, no, I wonder if I have to. No, I don't want to focus in that way. I want to have the V scan and focus in. You can get a good. Let me just kind of wiggle this out here to like 2245, and then loosen this up and concentrate this back down. There is a way to get the kind of more the white pings to happen or the diamond markers to happen. And I'm just kind of learning that balance now in the Iron Halo. And I'm working on it now as we go. See, there's you know, now the problem with this is now we have to pull out the mining laser. That's an E-type, no problem, mining laser back. What, you know, and then we'll ping again. 13.3 out. You know, we see opportunity markers out here. And we'll keep flying towards them. If you look close while pinging, you can spot asteroids that can sometimes count them in. Yeah, I mean, you can see. I think Brianna's talking about is right here as well. I can see I'm flying right by this rock. I mean, I can see it. Like, I don't know if it will give me a. You see, I got within 1100s. I could see that thing visually long before I could see it on any kind of a ping at all. You know, but I think if you focus down here, once you are able to see them. If you focus down here, you go into V-scan and focus. Depending on where they're at, you can see, like for instance, like I got scan markers there, and that's okay, but it's not working great. I mean, you know, that's still, you know, it is helpful. I mean, it's incredibly helpful for us to know where the actual rocks are at. But you can see there's actual ones that didn't actually ping here. So it'll be interesting to see. There's three of them. I got three scanning markers there, but you can see it's a bigger cluster than just the three. So very interesting. But also, I can tell you right now, the bad news is these are unscannable rocks. Now, one of the things that I do want to look into is just, you know, and what I have been doing is flying and at least looking at them and seeing if they have the orange marbling. And in this case, it doesn't. You know what I mean? No big deal. We'll continue scanning. So this is kind of what people are saying about the Iron Halo a little bit. It's going to be a Q type if it's what we're looking for. So we want to start out with a V scan, right? We want to make sure that we're maybe at a 90-degree angle out in front of us. Then I take and I let off of the alt where I'm changing both of them. Then I'm going to cast a wider net on the focus, and then we're going to let out a ping. And out in front of us, we're going to have, there's an opportunity. But once we know where that's at, then I'm going to actually hold alt, focus back down again, and then we'll send a ping in there. And then we'll see if, for some reason, as we get a little closer, if we get a white opportunity or not. You know, just kind of articulating here. And, you know, I haven't seen one yet. And it's not, it's weird. It's not every time, right? You know? So it's just one of those things. I can see the rock. It's right there. We're approaching it. You know, but it's, you know, it never did. Now, did it not give me one because it's not a scannable? No. See, it's even scannable. So it's interesting that's the meta, right? Now, that's an M type. We're going to keep on moving. So we're not, you know, see, this is the inconsistency. It's a little bit inconsistent in the Iron Halo. And I can appreciate where people are saying that for sure. So once again, we're going to go, we'll kind of scroll back to we'll do a 45 this time angle. We'll also, with this 45, we'll also kind of make sure we kind of, once again, open up the focus really good. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and send out a ping. There's an opportunity at 10 away. And we'll keep kind of flying towards that. Oh, Marcus says it's Quantanium at a good price right now. It's worth the most in the verse. That's why we mine it, you know, so heavily. It's just it's the highest priced unrefinable and refinable you can get. All right. So now that we're kind of here, I am going to kind of at least send out pings. And what I'm trying to do is hopefully get kind of your. And I'm not necessarily always getting them, but I'm trying to get your diamond icons after that point, kind of in an intermediary type scan situation. And I'm definitely not seeing those. So that's just a single rock. As we're flying by it, it's just an E type. So we know another rock was over this way. And so we will kind of open up our scan and ping. And I will, you know, we know that there's one over this way. Because we definitely seen it. and we'll keep heading towards this thing. So yeah, you guys can see, like, it's not quite the same in the air in Halo as it is in Lyria. And that's kind of the point. Now we're just going to keep our foot on the gas and keep on going here. Darren Jessup, welcome to the channel, Darren. Not a name I recognize. Good morning, my guy. How familiar are you with the new scanning changes in 3.17? Do you know how the ping angle works now? I am, and one of the things, Darren, that we did earlier in the stream is on Lyria, we went and kind of practiced that stuff and showed it off, how it worked exactly, and really, you know, we're really kind of demonstrating now out in the air in Halo the differences that we're seeing between the different scanning mechanics. It doesn't operate the same here as it does in the air in Halo, and so we are kind of talking about that stuff now. Marcus Wynn says, I just started mining caves this past week while doing the bounty mission. Yeah, that's actually a really fun way to mine too. Hand mining's great. I love it. So there's a single. Let's go ahead and just at least pull out the mining laser. It's a P-type, so we're going to keep moving. So we've kind of done some changes and some focusing. Now we're going to do a little bit different in the air in Halo, right, you guys? Now I'm going to turn on the V-scan. I'm just going to go to 360s. Actually, I'll do 180s at least, but I'll keep my focus way out, and we're just going to do visuals with kind of popping the mining laser out. So we're going to chase opportunity markers down now. So this is a little bit different way to do it. We're just going to ping out. We're just going to leave the mining laser out, and we're just going to fly close to, now this is a little more dangerous, right? We want to make sure that we do set at least a halfway decent clip here on the on our speed marker. Yeah, then I'm going to pull the mine laser out. We're just going to fly towards opportunity markers. Ping angle is the only thing that matters while active scanning, says Darren. 360 to get signatures, tight 2 degrees, angle to see how many rocks are in that signature. Absolutely. That's what one of the things we did for a little over an hour on Lyria today, Darren, is exactly that, and it's a good thing to remind people of for sure. The scanning mechanics are vastly different than they used to be. And so, yes, I agree 100% with that assessment. That's a P-type. We're going to keep on flying. All right, there's a couple of other opportunity markers. So we're doing a little zigzagging this way, and that's really going to be the best thing now. We really don't have a whole lot of... the meta's not working as good in the air in Halo as it is for Lyria scanning. The one thing it can do, though... obviously if you V-scan and tighten it down and you get lucky, is sometimes it will show you, like if you ping out, it will show you kind of where the diamond icons are. It's not always doing that, but it can. It does, one thing that it does do, which it does put a little shadow, a ping shadow on the rock, so as you're approaching. But there's a rock coming up here somewhere. And we're just going to kind of keep looking for it. We'll change our angle back. And there it is. Look at that. What the heck? It's a purple? Oh, no, it wasn't a purple. It was an M-type. All right, so that we'll keep on moving. Here's our next opportunity marker over this way. So we're widening the net, and then we're kind of tightening the net as well. And just, we'll just kind of keep coming in here. That's a 90 degree. And kind of half focus or so. And in we come. We're hoping that, my hope would be at the very least that you'd get kind of the diamond markers, but we know that we're in the ballpark for these. The one thing is you can approach these things pretty fast, and you got to be kind of on the stick a little bit when if you're happen to be randomly heading towards one, which, there's one right there that never even became a scannable object. No big deal. And so this passive scanning kind of that we're doing at this distance is probably the best option, I think, in the air in Halo right now. Is kind of finding an angle that works out at a distance, and then just kind of going and looking at the different opportunity markers. This is more of an individual. You're going to have to fly in, kind of give it an individual look. And you got to kind of keep flying towards, when you lose them, when they focus out a little bit. Yep, there it is. But that's an E-type, so, there's another one there. That's going to be another E-type. And there's another one there, and we had to see how we had to very quickly, I used my space bar to get up above that guy. That's one of the dangers right now in the air in Halo, is without getting those without getting the icons, I very quickly had to adjust and use my up thrust my space bar to kind of get myself out of a jam there. So we're moving at a clip that, potentially could be dangerous. And here's a Q-type. And it looks like this is going to be an excellent rock, you guys. I have a feeling this is going to be a nice one. Look how low the green marker is. Now, we do not have a scan result yet. I'm going to loosen up the laser head. This is probably going to be a nice rock to scan. I would imagine this is going to be a 40%er. Really, an 11%er. Now, that's actually surprising to me. I assumed that was, based on the way that it looked here with a lot of red and a green sliver, that was going to be better than an 11%er. But it just ended up not being better than an 11%er. Obviously, we took a look and it wasn't as good as we'd hoped. And off we go. That look, Dem just says, "Damn, I look away and so many people in the stream." Yeah, we've definitely, it's been great, you guys. I mean, a lot of you have been liking and subbing, and it's been wonderful. And if you like mining content, we have an awesome mining community. That we have people who come back to the stream all the time, who talk mining, who we all work together. We all learn from each other, talk about scan angles, talk about ping angles, talk about consumables, talk about all of the different things, drives, equipment, places to go. This is an unbelievable community. I'm just a part of it. I am a kind of a vessel, but I'm just a part of what you guys bring to the table. What all of you guys do as the people who watch the stream is you make this place special. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You guys, this is, it's a great community. So we found a little cluster here. We are going to pull out the mining laser. You can see here, though, right off the bat, these are unscannable rocks. Now, even though they are unscannable, I do like to go fly near them. At least see if it was a Quantanium cluster that was unscannable. Just so, misery loves company, right? If it's a Quantanium one. I don't see any marbling in that. Off we go. And we'll keep moving along. And I think Belios is making the great point. Keep calm and keep mining. We always keep our foot on the gas here. There's lots of time. Mining is one of these things where, it's a beautiful thing. You get to spend a little time, do a little talking. If you're solo, it's quiet. Work with some friends now and then. Mining is absolutely super therapeutic. I love mining in Star Citizen. I like coming and sharing with you guys because we learn from each other so much. And I wasn't supposed to like streaming. I was just going to kind of do it. But I decided I really like it. I enjoy this thing. So, it just kind of happened. It was happenstance, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, it's great. So anyways, we'll keep on. As you can see here, remember on Lyria when we were stopping and looking at every rock opportunity, and we could see how many rocks there were, and if it was more than 2 rocks, it was always Quantanium. It's definitely not like that in the Aaron Halo at all. So it's one of those things where it's not like that at all. Here I have to text. I can hear my beagle barking. I'm going to text my little guy. And I'm going to tell him to let the beagle out, please. I can hear her crying, and she usually won't whine like that unless she wants to go out. I asked my 11-year-old if he'd be so kind. And so, yeah, we'll keep on moving here. And, it's weird. It's a little awkward to fly around with the mining laser out, but it's a pretty good thing to do. Don Corleone says, "We love that you did." Thank you very much, Don. Marcus Wynn says, "Streaming is way better. Wish I would have done it sooner." Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's one of those things that just kind of grew on me. And then, of course, as you guys have liked and subbed, it's even gotten better. It's really great. I really like where we're at right now. All right, so we're cruising in on this guy here. We're looking for something to mine here in the Aaron Halo. And, a lot of people have come to my channel and said, "Hey, Spaces, Aaron Halo's it's a little rougher, than it used to be." And you can see I'm flying through rocks right here, you guys. It's one of those things. I am flying through rocks. Now, those are E-types. And because, I'm trying to keep a reasonable clip, right? I mean, my suggestion would be maybe slowing down a little bit. And maybe just for the stream, I will do that. as you can see here, I think I am going to bring my marker down to like about here. I definitely should be practicing. Oh, hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and I will go ahead and put that user in timeout first of all, and I will remove, and I will also hide user on channel, and I will also report that user as doing that kind of stuff. It's always one of those things. I don't know why sometimes we attract those types of sites, but whenever we do that, it's one of those things. And sometimes, we can, we'll do our best to moderate that stuff. It's silly, and obviously it's the internet. People know where to go if they are looking for that kind of stuff. They, a Star Citizen stream is probably not the first place, but if we see them, I'll just do my best to knock those out. And then sometimes 9 or 14 or one of those guys are around, and I definitely will assign mods depending on who's in here and available and willing to, people that obviously people that are in my organization sometimes hang out, and I can give them the power to do those things. And I probably should look for some permanent. It's just one of those things. It's just I don't experience it very much. It's starting to become more and more. Yes, exactly. You get some mining advice from folks. All right, there's a P-type. We're gonna keep on moving and keep looking. But as you can see, look. So here's kind of the balance we have to strike. Right? We either have to. I'm gonna get back down to a 90-degree scan. We either have to fly slow. It's one of those things. If we fly, we'll try and find a little bit of a balance. We'll try 200, or we're closing in on those things so fast without kind of diamond markers. It's actually dangerous flying. So it's a little, it's one of those things. We're still trying to kind of get used to it, and we'll make the best of it though. And then as we need to, we'll pull out this mining laser just to check things and make sure that we check them as we go by, because that's definitely every place else except for Lyria, you're going to have to check them as you go by. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter where you are. Brianna Joy says the chat has good vibes. The chat does really have good vibes. I'm really blessed. For the most part, people are very cordial to each other. Heck, I don't even think I've ever had to straighten anybody out from being kind of uncordial to each other. I think we have a more mature audience, and I really do appreciate that. I think it's great, so we've been really blessed. I think our community is good, in that capacity. What do we got here? Q-types and a couple of double A's. All right, what do we got here? So let's fly in on these Q-types. That's not going to be great. What about this guy? That's also not going to be great. So let's at least, we're out here looking for these. So that's a blue cap, a 2%er. And that's a 7.57%, so that's not what we're looking for. Off we go. Next opportunity is about 6,000 out. We're just going to kind of keep moving along. Beautiful, beautiful day to mine in Star Citizen, to discuss mining mechanics. Now notice that time we did get a diamond icon. And, it would be really helpful to at least get the... Now, we didn't get them all, though. As I'm approaching the rocks, I see more of these rocks than just that one that we were on. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. But they're unscannable rocks. So definitely unscannables here. We'll keep on moving. All right, we'll ping out and keep keeping heading in the direction. And so, Murlork says, I think Star Citizen just tracks more mature 30 plus nerdy guys and girls. I agree with that. Leos Herders, welcome to the channel, man. Why is your scan layout yellow? Is that an option? Leos, excellent question. I do have a video called Yellow Icons. It's the Errol Grey Cat set that gives you this, Errol Grey Cat. You can actually go watch that video and it will show you, it's called Yellow Icons. It's on my channel and it will show you exactly where to buy that stuff. A Green Junior. Hey, Green, how you doing today, man? Nice to see you, Greenie. Best mining channel ever. I would love to see you solo mole. I know, Greenie. I promise I will solo mole. You're absolutely right. Chris Bass says nurses. I saw one when I was in the hospital, and I'm not single anymore. And there you go, Chris. Nicely done. Darkside666 has stated this before and we'll say it again. This is the best streaming site for mining and chatting. Amazing community. Darkside666, that is a wonderful comment. Thank you very much. Brianna Joyce says, Murloc, that's because nobody else can afford long-term habit. My wallet is dreading Fleet Week. Yes, I know. Fleet Week's coming, you guys. Yeah, you get, break out your wallets. It's, or don't put them away, hide them. I can see myself coming up on rocks here, I think. I thought I was anyways. Maybe I got over my skis a touch. We'll see. No, it's right there. Yeah. All right, well. And it is an E-type, so I was like, man, I thought I was closing on some. But I know I'm not moving that fast because I don't want to fly that fast. Leo says, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, I'm going to keep pinging hard here. And I wonder if there's just a distance that it's going to... It's a curiosity of mine. Like, I love how fast you can ping, by the way. I'm just going to keep pinging to see if maybe there's a distance where, like, if you ping within a certain distance, it's going to give you that blue, or give you the white diamond icon. I don't see it for sure, though. And I know I'm approaching rocks, Now, I'm not flying as fast as I was because I almost crashed into some. And I can actually see them as we approach them down here. But I'm not going to fly towards them. And here they're about to show. Very close. Yep, see what I mean? And they are M-types. Alright, so we'll look over this way. Oh, we've kind of gotten the... Not going to fly. We'll go ahead and reorientate ourselves back towards Arcal 1. And David Crouch says, I'm new. Welcome to the channel, David. Nice to see you, sir. Awesome. And so, hey, we're going to spool up, you guys, and I'm going to drop out at 5.2. So, you know what? We've given a pretty good run here, and let's just spool up, change our, sometimes it's always best if you go for a little while and you don't see stuff. Don't be afraid to do a mini jump. It's one of those things where it's not a bad idea. We'll drop out, we'll kind of get as close to 5.2 as we can. 5.4. Mini jump's never a bad idea at all. 5.3. And and when it says like 5.2 and 20, 3, 2, boom. All right. Same kind of gig. We'll let out a ping. Go back to mouse and keyboard. And just kind of look around. But, never a bad idea to do a mini jump here and there. Give yourself a, if you're just kind of not running into what you're looking for. We hadn't seen a whole lot of mineable clusters. That's pretty common in the air in Halo. I know the ping angle equals distance to see diamonds. I haven't figured out the exact distances. But it seems 45 degrees works around 4K. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here, So we're 45, and just so we know, and here I'm going to actually I am going to change this real quick. Give me a second. I'm going to get out of VScan. I'm going to make sure that we're okay. Then I'm going to get into VScan. I'm going to set us at 45. I'm going to ping out, and I know. Yep. Now there's we're going to widen this out. Let's see. All right. So we know that So now I'm going to go out to 90. Go out to 180. And then, look at that, 180 is right in front of us. We couldn't see it. Now, out at 180, I can for whatever reason. So now, and I think it's because there's the noise behind it, right? Of course, there's 360, and you're going to see more of them, right? So we'll tighten down to 180, okay? We'll tighten down to 90. And we lost it at 5K. So if we tighten, we'll tighten down to 45, okay? We'll tighten down to 22. We're tightened down to, I think, 11. We know it's right there. We'll tighten down even more. Interesting. We come back out to 179 ping, and it's right there. It's one of those things. The angle for the ones that are right in front of you, it's so strange. Now, it's just, yeah, I don't really I'm not exactly sure You know, obviously we're very interested in also keeping the rocks in front of us. But, you know, the other thing that we're having a hard time doing then is we're having a hard time getting any kind of diamond icons, right? And we know we're approaching rocks here. There they are. So now we've got to pull out the scanning. These are Q types. These are great, okay? But it's just like, that's kind of, it's, you know, it's just one of those things. We're trying to learn this together. This is a 4631 at 10%. What about this guy? Not a great percentage here. We're going to keep moving. Well, I'll tell you what it is, though. Hold on, just so we're on the same page. It's a blue cap. It's a 2%er. So we'll fly off. I do know that there was some opportunity markers over this way. And yeah, we'll just kind of... It is interesting to me. It's just like the... You know, it definitely is different in the air and Halo. We're not getting the... You know, the one thing I would like to see a big change on, of course, is... I mean, there are massive changes, you know, obviously. I would love to just set a filter and say, the only thing I'm looking for is Quantanium at 37%. Or Quantanium at 26%. If you know, that's the only thing I want to ping for. You know, I would like to see it be that focused. We probably won't see it that focused, but I'd love to see that type of thing. But I would also like to see at least get the diamond icons at a greater distance than 1200. Because it's hard to fly fast out here, too, because you're going to run into them. That's an M type. We'll move on to the next opportunity mark. And yeah, so we've definitely demonstrated the difference between the scanning on Lyria and the difference between scanning in the air and Halo. And it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just different, you know. And you're doing a lot more flybys and visuals, you know, on in the air and Halo. And in many cases, there are unscannables. You're really having to use your mining laser a lot to just kind of verify what things are. And so, yeah, Marcus says, I would like my hands to always work. Fair enough. Gianni, welcome to the channel, Gianni. How are you today? If I buy the Prospector with cash, does it come? Oh, no, Gianni, it doesn't come with the better mining laser. But the difference between that and renting one is you can actually buy the stuff with the... It's not expensive to buy the next mining laser. It's like 20,000 AUEC. So the Prospector's a great ship, by the way. It'll print you money in Star Citizen. It will make you so much more viable. But you will have to do a little work, maybe some box missions or something to earn that first laser. But it's not expensive. There are a couple of rocks right here, you guys. They're just, you know, we're looking at them. These are P types and a mini cluster here. So we're going to fly over to this opportunity. See how much slower it is? It is. I'm not complaining. I love mining, but it's just not quite the same. And we're not. This is a huge cluster, by the way. And I did actually get some. I shouldn't say huge cluster, but it is a cluster. I could see, but you can see here these are unscannables, right? Because I'm on them, and I'm not getting any scan results or any kind of mass results at all. They don't look like they're Quantanium. It is in the sun a touch. We'll pivot back and keep moving. Brianna says, I look at the instability to get a rough go or no go. Yep, the instability. I kind of look at the kind of how much red and how big the green sliver is as kind of a tip-off myself. But nothing. Instability is another one. Darkseid says the lengthy searching in the Halo really drains the mole's hydrogen tank. I agree with that 100%. And if you're gonna solo mole, really the Halo's a lot better for a variety of reasons. S77LOM says, what's a P type or a Q type or an M type? We're looking for Q types. They're Quantanium S77. By the way, S77, welcome to the channel today. How are you doing? But yeah, it's P types and N types. They're just different types. We're looking for Quantanium. That's what we're here to mine. It's the best thing to mine in the verse. So we're definitely looking for Q types. It's just different types of deposits, and they have different types of materials in them. Murloc says, yep, that's the good old Prospe. Don Quillian says, I find nothing as well on Lyria. Drop spot may be wrong. No, Don. Definitely go back and watch the first part of my video today. Even if you just kind of fast forward through it. There's this new scanning mechanic on Lyria. You can do really good on Lyria. You really can. Now, it's not everybody is, and this server, you know, there's always that situation with the servers not necessarily always being super friendly, but you absolutely can do that for sure. Now, that's interesting. I don't know if I just accidentally... Oh, I didn't. Don't worry about it, you guys. I monitor the scan a certain way, and I clicked out of the game and chose something. Geasley, how you doing something today, Geasley? I opened up another window while I clicked out of the game somehow. What's the name of the best mining laser, says Gianni? It's the Lancet MH1. That's the best mining laser for Quantanium. Absolutely the best mining laser. I've used that laser relentlessly for almost a year now. The Helix used to be the mining laser that people recommended, but it's the Lancet. MH1 Lancet. Thank you, Brianna Joy. That's very kind of you to put in the exact spelling and everything. All right. Unscannable rock for sure. We're not getting any results. We'll keep on moving. All right. Couple of more opportunities up this way. We'll keep flying towards these opportunities and looking for something. Lancet for Quant. Absolutely. That's what Gray Peter says. I think you're going to find... You know, even though there's a lot of diverging opinions on consumables, there's a lot of diverging, you know, on different pieces of equipment. Probably not so much on the laser. I'm not saying somebody won't come in here and argue a Helix a little bit, but for the most part, I think we tend to find that the Lancet is preferred. There's an E-type. We're going to keep moving on. Fully agree with you, Commander, Prospector, and Taurus. Must admit that I am enjoying the Hull A. Now, I think the Hull A is a great ship, and don't get me wrong. I also think that the Raft is a great ship. The Hull A, the Raft, and the Freelancer Max are all... I would approach that ship one way as a pirate, then the Constellation Taurus. The Constellation Taurus is the thing that I recommend as a hauler because it's a bit of a gunship too. Ooh, here's some Q-types, you guys. This is a Q-type cluster. So this is what we're out here looking for. And this is, you know, potentially a decent rock, but maybe not. We'll have to see. But yeah, this is, you know, hey, let's celebrate. We found a Quantanium cluster, and this is what we're out here looking for is for Quantanium, is a Quantanium cluster. This is a 22%er. Let's hopefully we do have one rock in here that's a little better than that. This is a 4931, and let's go in and take a look a little closer to this guy. This is a 4931, and this is a 4... Really, that's a 4%er, huh? Yeah, that's what it says. Alrighty, this is a 4631, and this is a, you know, a 3%er. This is a 4931, and this is a 16%er. So this could be a working man's cluster, unless this guy's got some magic in it. All right, we got a working man's cluster, and this is why do I call this a working man's cluster? Because there's not enough Quantanium in this rock to be a full load, and there's not enough Quantanium in this rock to be a full load, but maybe between the two of them, we can get in the high 30s. So, yeah. So KC8 just says, hey, welcome, hello, fellow Michigander. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Gianni says, thank you. You have an awesome voice attitude on your channel. Makes it exciting to watch. Thank you, Gianni. That's very kind of you. Murlork says 331 SCU of quant cooking. Wow, nicely done, Murlork. He's got that cooking in the refinery. SS7 says, I mined on Leary, went to the belt between ArcL1 and CRUL4, and was searching there for about an hour, found only 2 rocks with 2%, a couple of blue caps. That does happen, S77. You know, it's just one of those things. I found myself a working man's cluster, which means we have more than one rock to break down to maybe try and get ourselves a good run. Now, we've got to be careful here. And so here's what we're going to do. I always break down the one with the lowest percentage first in case there's any despawns, which doesn't normally happen. You know, but we're also going to orientate ourselves around in a way where we're going to use the sun, we're going to put the sun at our back. And we've got to be careful, right? Because we're kind of getting in between rocks, but it's this rock here and this rock here that we want to mine, right? So I'm going to approach this one first. We've got to be careful. We're going to get very close to the rock that's above us. So, but we do have this behind us right here. We're going to break down the 16%er first. And we're going to begin. No, I know. As some of you veterans know on the channel, Dat Boy. How you doing, Dat Boy? How you doing? What we're going to do here is we're going to break down both these rocks. Now, as a lot of you know who watch the channel, I do get a little hyper-focused on the mining itself. So if there are questions that come in and you feel like you can answer them, please do answer them for the rest of the for the folks who are watching for sure. And up we go. I'm going to sip a little coffee here, keep myself honest. Delicious. Working Man's Cluster, a 16%er and a 22%er. Not necessarily great. This here is going to be 150 twice and then again, so 750. This is about 15 SEU, and the other one's going to be around 20 SEU. So there's a chance that we could get in the high 30s, for sure. Now we have to remember 139 meters above us and 89 meters below us. There's rocks, so we don't have a lot of wiggle room. And if you know, it's one of those things. They're not right on top of us. But they're here. So we just have to be careful. We are in a good optimal range. I'm at 100%. Keep in mind, look at, I'm keeping the green in the black part of the space, so I have some contrast. I would normally kind of tuck in, try and right behind this thing in a certain way, but the rocks, the way they're spread this time, it won't work out perfectly. And it is a 1.34 instability. That's a very manageable instability over this mass. 1.34 is not bad for this first break. Working Man Cluster in a solo mole is fun. Running between the mining heads just adds to the fun. Not a bad idea. Absolutely. Darkside's making a great point. Something I've never actually even tried, Dark. That's actually a really good point. Is just going to the different mining lasers as you kind of position yourself kind of perfectly between the two. And you can see she fell out just a touch as I kind of looked at the chat. No big deal. This is not a hard break. 1.34 instability over, is very manageable. You do have to keep an eye on it. It will try and jump up a little bit. You have to, feather the laser intensity up and down, but try and keep her as strong in the middle there as you can. As it falls back, I feather up. As it falls down, I feather up. As it kind of spikes up, I feather down. Good break, easy break. And you can see right off the bat there, I'm going to back away. We're going to take a look and see how we did. This looks like it's going to have a little bit in it, 2%. We don't like to see that. That's, that particular thing is, let's see what we have here. This didn't have anything in it. That's good. What about this guy here? That one's going to have pretty good percentage in it, looks like. Oh, no, just 17. And none of this is going to break great, you guys. I don't think. A 60%er is not too bad. History teacher says, "Hey, Space Shorts, I will echo Gianni in your attitude about challenges has been welcome." Yeah, I wanted to let you guys know that's a really good point, history teacher. I did have a lot of people come to me on the stream who were really sad about the changes, and I understand why. And I had some people in our organization also come to me about the changes, and they were really sad, and I understand why. And I took the attitude, which I just wanted to work the problem. Let's make sure that we're not overlooking something. And then it was, lo and behold, shout out to Sniping Jets video. We said, hey man, I'm noticing if you angle this thing, something's happening here. And then after some testing, at least Lyria Mining saved. We've got a lot of work to do in the Air and Halo, and collectively as a community, we have to talk to CIG. We have to let them know, hey, we don't have to be hyperbolic, but we have to let them know, hey, clinically, this gameplay is not as fun. It's a little tedious, But you know what? Everybody also, and the channel's been great. Hey, Thomas, nice to see you, and I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? And so, guys, I want to say, I think that we handled... I do think our community did really well. It was nice of you. When you guys are sad, if you privately message me, I think it's great. I haven't said one name. I never will. Please come tell me if something is, troubling you or bothering you. Send me a DM. I'll always do my best to answer those things. and just say, hey, you know, let's keep our chins up. Let's keep fighting through. You know, so we all want this game to work. We've got to work together to help make it work. Definitely. And it's, you know, it's not, things aren't always perfect, but we're, you know what, we're going to give it our best. Leo says, all right, guys, thanks. Yeah, so it sounds like there's been some helpful work in the community. Thomas says, how should I mine now? Thomas, earlier in the channel, I demonstrated the new scanning mechanics in Lyria. And that, you know, that can really help you understand the new scanning meta for sure. Don't have as much contrast here. I'm going to scooch over and get myself a little bit in the darkness there. Once again, though, this instability is easy to... because I had a Brant going. I was like, this instability is easy to manage. Now it went up to a 1.34. Still very manageable, though. We should have a good break here, or, you know, I spiked up a touch. Hopefully it won't fall out at this, you know, or spike up heavily. You know, feathering back and forth. Looks like we're going to have a good break here. And to be honest with you, in this working man's cluster, that 2.14, that's probably not worth mining. It's just going to add to the. So I think we've actually broken. Now watch. I'm just going to use my D key. I'm just going to scooch over here, and we're going to position ourselves on the other rock that we were going to mine. So this is a working man's cluster. We are going to, you know, kind of come on in here. Now we are just going to. We can see the things that are over that way. This is the better of the two rocks. We do this one second. Yeah, and we're going to power up and we're going to break through this guy. History teacher says the FLTRXL module, for instance, is a passive module. Works all the time. The other modules are active. Yep, some of them have charges and some of them are passive. And then there are other rocks as well. Like there are other types that are gadgets that you actually go out and attach to the rock. And so all of them have their options. So we did find a working man's cluster here. We're kind of, and what I mean by that is you have more than one rock to break up, and we're working through it here in the Iron Halo. But we definitely, if you go back and watch the stream today, you don't have to watch it skim the stern or from the beginning to the end. If you kind of focus. You know, I kind of repeat a lot of things that I say as people come into the stream. You can watch a period of time on Lyria, how we handled the scanning mechanic there, and a period of time in the Iron Halo, how we handled the scanning mechanic there. And between the two, of course, the Iron Halo is much slower. You know, it's much more visual orientated. Doya says, I get this type of cluster. I like to clean up the mess and do a discharge trick to make more quant access. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Doe said that one of the things you can do is scoop up some of the trashy rocks and then wait for first alarm and then jettison that stuff. You know, if it's in your way, it's not a bad idea. I have done that before too. Like if you're down on Lyria and you have a really weird break and a lot of trash is in front, just scoop up all that trash, then grab yourself one little snippet of Quantanium, wait for it to go in the first alarm and jettison it, and then when you start your actual scoop, it will absolutely help you, you know, use the mechanics that are available. You know, leaning on the fact that you can jettison, and the jettison's working really well, and you do that by grabbing all the trash, and then just, even if you have 0.01 Quantanium on board, it will become unstable, and you can jettison. So you can use your machine to clean up your extraction site as well. I use the FLTRXLs. I like it. I think it's a good passive. I don't like giving up on my Brants. I like abusing the heck out of Brants on secondary breaks, and flattening out that curve. It keeps me efficient, I feel like, and so that's how I definitely tend to do it. So it's a 1.89 instability this time. Once again, very manageable. I feathered back into about 70% or so. We're keeping an eye on it, seeing if it's going to continue to spike up or down. We're about halfway through the break now. It is kind of trending down, so I trended up. It's trending up, you know, so I'm trending down. It's one of those things. Use your mouse wheel to articulate the, you know, and it can spike up. You know, it's one of those things. If you don't abuse a brand, it can spike up. I would rather it fall out than spike up into the overcharge, if at all possible. Very clean break. We never did get into the overcharge, and so we're in good shape there. Now, we're hoping for a little bit cleaner breaks on these, but, you know, when these rocks are low percentages, you're not always going to get them. That was a 39%er there. Oh, Green Jeter's asking, how do you jettison? Green, Here's how you jettison, okay? You scoop up the trash. Great question. And I do have a video on it too, by the way, or a stream where I talk about jettisoning. But you scoop up all the trash, make sure you put a little Quantanium on board, and by a little, you don't have to put a lot. Wait till it goes to full alarm, and then left Alt-J. That will absolutely do it. And practice it one time. So learn how to do it. Practice it one time. It's a critical mining skill, a very important one, and one that I personally slept on for a long time. I don't sleep on it anymore, but I personally slept on that particular skill for a long time, and I realize now how incredibly valuable it is. And so learning the jettison as a prospector or you know, as a mole miner, especially I can imagine in mole mining, solo mole mining, you could take on a bunch of crap, just jettison it, you know. You could really clean up almost the entire extraction site because you can hold so much, and then just be very careful. So we're going to abuse our brants here as much as we can. We're going to try and break 2 rocks down with 1 brant every single time we have an opportunity. Now, that's not always going to happen, but that's what we're going to try to do. Lil Trucker, how you doing today, Lil? Nice to see you, sir. Nice to see you, Lil. Absolutely. Alrighty. 43%. Up we go. Up we go. Push, push, push. You know, kind of deal with the fact that, you know, we're pushing up. We're trying to get it. We have 36 left. We're trying to push up and get into the green before 30. We're down to 30 seconds. If we do that, usually the meta is usually what you can do is you can get 2 breaks, 1 brand, and that's what we're trying to do. Is kind of use the brands, you know, especially in these not necessarily great clusters. We want to use the brand as much as we can. Also, when they're super clean breaks and it's the 2.5 instabilities. I mean, the brands are just the Brant Lancet combination for smoothing out Quantanium cannot be underestimated. All right, so we managed to do it that time. This is a 39%er in front of us. We're gonna bring this guy up to. We're gonna fire another Brant when we get the opportunity. You know, in we go. I really appreciate you guys kind of helping each other when I do the mining part of it. I do like to stay focused. I think the best demonstration is just doing good mining. You know, and I try and talk my way through it as much as I can for you guys. But I appreciate when I go a little quieter on the chat, and maybe some of you also do as well, and that's reasonable. But I do appreciate how you help each other out. It means a lot to me that you'd speak to each other and help each other and just share it collectively. That to me is like one of the greatest. It's the reason I continue to do this. The day that people are on the channel and being really rude to each other and you know that becomes the norm. Will be the day I kind of change the Space Shorts channel name to something else and start again, and kind of invite the people I know, you know. So it means so much to me that you guys are cordial to each other, and I didn't do what I normally do, push. I should have. I got a little thankful and not so focused on mining, but we pushed in at about 25. We're gonna have we have to ride this out a little longer at the end. That'll be okay. Now I'm up kind of high in the green here. I am dropping it back. I definitely when it breaks off the Brant here in about 5 seconds, I want it to be more in the middle of the road than you know, kind of. So we just bottomed out. We have to ride it out a little bit longer. It could spike up or spike down pretty good. You know, we've got to be really careful. 1.53 instability. We managed to do it. Let me just get some perspective here. I just want to look up. Yeah, we're not. I just wanted to double check that we were in good standing. I think there might be one more rock that we have to break up. I'm not entirely sure. But we have a couple places that we have to scoop out of. Okay, there's that. I think maybe we're good on breaking. Oh, there is. Oh, that's a. Yeah, that's a whole other rock. I think we're ready to begin scooping. So I don't think there was anything in this one, and I don't think there was anything in this one. Okay, good. So we're going to look for high percentages first, at least in this first rock. 37's not going to be our opener. That's a big rock at 37. That's nothing. We're looking for at least a hundo opener or two, if there's any to be had. That's nothing. $146. There's our hundo opener. We'll go ahead and get started. We're at least looking for a hundo opener. You gotta give yourself the best opportunity you can. And then we're gonna keep scanning the rest of these guys and keep looking at what we got. Another hundo, nice 158. Now between these two rocks, there is, you know, a potential to get in the upper 30 SCU. And so we're doing good. We're already at 6. We're going to have to spend a little time being discerning on the laser. It's just one of those things. That's a 58%er. It's not bad. It's not necessarily one we want to necessarily stick to right now. There's another hundo. We'll drag this guy in. You know, and that's what we're trying to do, is bring on as much of the real clean stuff as we can to begin with. That's nothing. Now we do have this one in front here. We may have, that's 100% inert. What about this one behind? That's 215. That is nothing as well. I think the rest of these we may have already put a scan on. Yep, it is maintaining our, where we do, it seems to be maintaining a 60% course. That's a 39%er. And out there's nothing. So we've got a couple of 25s and 39s. All right, let's start looking at these guys over this way now. Now we're going to kind of sneak in here. We're going to kind of position ourselves between the two. We're going to look for good rocks in the second cluster. You know, there's plenty of time. We don't have to be crazy here. There's a hundo. That's excellent. Exoteric Dragon, nice to see you. Exoteric Dragon, nice to see you. Welcome to the channel. Why can't we be mining by holding a beer? Excellent question. I think that's what the mole's for. Everybody can hold the beer and mine at the same time. I think. Yeah, that's definitely what the mole's for. Unless you're solo moling, in which you can't. I've definitely had a couple of hold my beer moments, though, in mining. Archer has, too. One time, Archer, I watched him kind of run his nose of his prospector into some trash rocks, trying to push him off the pile. That was definitely a hold my beer moment. Or wine, Brianna Joy. Yeah, I love red wine. Malbec, Bordeaux. I also do like red wine. I like a good Malbec, and I definitely like a good Bordeaux. Oh, I mean, that's Sangiovese, or I don't know if I say those words right. I wouldn't say I have that refined of a palate, but like a good beer as well. 50%er. We've got 20 SCU on board, you guys, so we're looking for the best rocks over there as well. All right, so let's kind of pivot back and look at this group again. That's a 50. So we'll start pulling in things that aren't great percentages now. Anything that's north of 50%, we'll start kind of looking through. I don't think this was anything. Yep, I don't think this one was anything. That's 100% inert. That's nothing. That's nothing. 296 SCU rock. That is a 75%. That's a good rock. At 300, 75% of that, this is going to get us well over 25 SCU. So that's really solid. That was a very nice rock, a high percentage. 37. That's nothing. That's a 39. That's a 25. So we only have one little cleanup rock. We'll look back over here just to make sure. There's a 50. There's a 49. We're gonna have 49s are high. There's a 45. We're looking for anything. I think that 49 is going to clean us up. Let's go ahead and get that 49. It's not going to be perfect, but you know something? We're breaking 27 SCU. We may break 28. We didn't break 28. We're 27.76 SCU. So now I'm going to back away slowly, because we definitely were in a spot where, you know, a little situational awareness is good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and spool up the quantum drive. We are going to kind of fly clear. And off we go. 27 SCU, working man's cluster. Nothing to sneeze at. Very good rock. 27 SCU is a very good run. Now, we had to work hard for it. It's one of those things. Kind of looking back now at the chat a little bit. And where are you at the moment near ArcL 1? I was 5.2 away from ArcL 1. I think that kind of translates into about maybe 7.7, 8.2, right in that area when you leave ArcL 1 and head towards HURL 5. Brandon Joy says he is in the air in Halo belt. Yep, I was in the air in Halo. History teacher says, see how he keeps scanning and rescanning nothing rocks? That's why I blow them up once you started collecting Quantanium. You know what? That's another option, too. You can just put your laser on those and blow those up. I've had a couple of them get kind of yucky on me or go south. But I don't disagree with History Teacher. You also can kind of pop some of those if you do it right and kind of get some distance. That's another way to do it. Maybe History Teacher, I should practice that a little bit and feel a little more comfortable showing it on the stream. That's a great idea, though. Darkside says, Joyce KF the Mole. Can't take it all. Yeah, I mean, moles obviously have a lot more options with wiggle room. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and drink a little more Java. And in we go, ArcL 1. Now we want to be careful. We don't want to do, like I said, the other night we flew into the station, kind of silly. No reason to do that. Only time I've ever done it on stream, and really one of the first times I've done it in many months, but we've got to be careful. David Crouch says, I have a prospector. Would you like to mine together? David, at some point, absolutely, I would absolutely love to do that. So you can look me up in game on V__V. There's a link in the description for our org. We have an awesome mining organization, you guys. Our organization is a mining focused. I shouldn't say that. We have an awesome squad of miners, just really wonderful men who do a ton of mining in the game, and we're always looking for people to mine with. KC8 says, random or not, new to the game, still playing Pink Floyd, learning to fly, picked up the starter pack. Oh my gosh, Pink Floyd, my favorite band of all time, by a mile. That probably also dates me as well. But yeah, no, Pink Floyd is absolutely my favorite band. Not even close. Lots of other bands in the neighborhood. No, not really. Lots of other bands I love, but Pink Floyd's my favorite for sure. Right behind me, I have a big Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon 72 poster here in the office, and yeah, I know what you mean. History teacher, I get to scatter with that. Maybe need to practice. Thanks. You know what? Yeah, there is some advanced mechanics. Teacher's right. I should probably show you guys some of the more advanced like using the lasers to break the stuff. I think that's a good idea. Can I also state that History Teacher also has suggested some more rented prospector stuff as well, and that's coming in. I've done some, but I'm going to do more of an in-depth rented prospector, kind of using the mining gadgets as well. So, History Teacher, I do really appreciate the content suggestions. Those are fantastic and well noted for sure. So, Exoteric is saying 2 sticks or HOTAS. I prefer 2 sticks. I have 2 sticks in my hand right now. Exoteric, when I do mine, though, I go back to mouse and keyboard. I like the precision for FPS and mouse and keyboard. I like the precision for mining with mouse and keyboard. But I do fly 2 sticks when I fly in Star Citizen. It's the VKB Gladiator NXTs, the premiums. Love those sticks. They're not nearly the same price as the Verpals. And don't, I mean, I wish I could have, the Verpals were something that were a little more affordable for a guy like me. But these particular sticks, I love them. OTC Mornblade says, I finished 5 Q runs on Leary about an hour ago. That's fantastic. That's what we're talking about. You love to put those, put that many jobs in the hopper. Gray Peter says, I seen Pink Floyd on Hastings Pier in 1968. Gray Peter. I seen Pink Floyd in 1994 at the Pontiac Silverdome. They played the entire Dark Side of the Moon. It was, I literally cried. I'm not joking. I cried at that concert. Don Crowland says you have to be quick, but you can put a Lancet on a rental nowadays. Oh, I didn't know that, Don. That's interesting. Thomas Giacomet says if you want a PvP, 2 sticks is the way. I don't disagree with that. Darkside says a master class from you will be appreciated, sir. I will definitely give a class on breaking up some of the stuff. Look at, we're coming in nice and even. We're not in a hurry. We've got 27 SCU on board. We're just kind of bringing her on in. We haven't even heard first alarm yet. Easy peasy. We're going to set her down. Just a nice kiss down. There's first alarm. No problem. We're well within our limits to go ahead and do a post flight. Easy peasy. We'll kill the engines. Out of the seat we go. And yep, V_V_V is my in-game name. As Brianna would tell you, if you guys look me up on Discord, if you guys look me up in the game, I'm always happy to chat with anybody. I love mining the Star Citizen. I love interacting with people who enjoy Star Citizen. We've got a fantastic, good community going right now. In we go to store the Prospector. And so we will do that, and we will run down to the refinery, and we will get this guy cooking for sure. Now watch, I don't want to get hit. This thing will beat me up. If any sudden movements means I just got plowed by the. See that? See that sudden movement? That's me being hit by the invisible elevator. Oh yes, and one of the things OTC is making a great OTC Mornblade is making an awesome point. Rock mining's back, you guys. The extraction mining laser bug's gone. You can use the scanning mechanics I showed you earlier in the stream today to actually find ROC minables. ROC mining is one of the most coolest things to do in any space game ever, in my opinion. It's just fantastic to just fly your ship around on a moon surface, take your little mining car out of that thing, mine, collect your stuff. To be honest with you, I really like the Nomad. I've decided that I really like the Nomad for ROC mining. I'm probably going to buy one for ROC mining, even though my Taurus is a perfectly serviceable, ROC hauler. I am going to go with the, I think ultimately I'll just use a Nomad. It's great. Now, we'll have to see. I mean, I may bounce between them both. I'll tell you at some point, if that mechanic I talked about, the back end of the Prospector's got that, the back end of that Prospector's got that shielded thing, I definitely would go with that for sure. The shielded scanning, meaning like the back end of the Prospector where the snub falls out of it. Info Runners was saying that that particular part is supposed to be shielded, and if I could take my Hadanite boxes out of the ROC and put them back there where it's shielded, that might be kind of the tipping point why definitely using the Taurus as the superior rock miner. But I really do like the, for a starting type of thing, I really do like the Nomad, because you just back that sucker on there, pull it right off. It's very quick to pull on and off. OTC Mornblade says, that's my starter ship, the Nomad, space pickup. I love that thing. History Teacher says, Connie Andromeda makes for a good RC. I agree. The Connie Andromeda is an absolute beast of a ship in combat, and also an excellent rock miner. Nobody, they're going to be eating a lot of missiles. if you're under attack in your Andromeda, they're definitely, you've got a lot of firepower to throw at them if you want. All right, so we're just going to take this down to the, we had a really good run here. We are going to go ahead and throw this guy the Dynic Solvenation. We're going to get quote. We're going to confirm that. We're going to go for sure. And so, yeah, I mean, here's what we did today, guys. Just so we're on the same page with each other, we did a little mining stream, which is fantastic. Here's our total. I like to do these things. If we take 1,597, which wasn't the best run, and then we add that to the 2,637, that is 4,234, units of Quantanium. We're going to times that by 88. We're going to put an equal. That's 372,000. AUEC after we haul this in. That's not a bad day. I mean, just a slow day for sure. So I'm going to do this here. It's one of those things I do towards the end of my stream. A couple of things I always like to say during my stream. The coffee was fantastic. The Quantanium was great, but the company was far better. And I truly mean that. You guys are fantastic. I love the people that come back and contribute. You guys are great. It is Saturday, you guys, and I know that there's something I could be doing out in the sunlight as well. I love Star Citizen mining. I love that I can start out my afternoons or my mornings doing a little Star Citizen mining. But it's a beautiful day in northern Michigan, and as you know, when they're beautiful days, you have to go out and take advantage of them. So I am going to be signing off. This was an excellent stream. Everybody who contributed, thank you so much. Please, truly, take care of yourself. And I mean it when I say, if you come talk to me, I mean it when I say, I will see you all around the verse.